Ohio gozaimasu, konnichiwa, konbanwa. Last Raps Baseball is on the air. Wherever you're out in the world, welcome to Last Raps Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. The commentary and views are our opinions and are not affiliated with the NPB, the Pacific League, Central League, or their sponsors. We are giving English reports on the game being played and hope that English-speaking fans around the globe can enjoy the game on YouTube and Twitch along with us. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back with the starting lineups after this. And we'll be doing the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles and the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks from the PayPay Dome. That game gets going in under 7 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Game 3 of the series between the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles and the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. The Hawks have won the first 2 games of the series 7-3 on Friday, and the Saturday game yesterday was a 9-1 blowout. And today, the Eagles are looking to salvage a game out of this 3-game set. So first of all, we're going to give you the starting lineup for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. Leading off and playing in left field, wearing number 6 is Haruki Nishikawa. Hitting second and playing shortstop, wearing number 0 is Hiroto Kobakata. Batting third at second base, wearing number 3 is Hideto Asamura. In the cleanup spot and doing the designated hitting is number 35, Hiroki Shimochi. Batting fifth in right field, wearing number 27 is Takiro Okajima. Hitting sixth in center field, wearing number 8 is Ryosuke Tatsumi. Batting seventh at first base, wearing number 7 is Daichi Suzuki. Batting eighth and playing third base, wearing number 5 is Igor Emoji. And batting ninth and doing the catching is number 26, Jinjiro Sumitani. And they're going to be facing the crafty veteran left-hander of the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. It's going to be Tsuyoshi Wada, who takes to the hill. He has a 3-2 record on the year. He's got 47 2/3 innings pitched. He's allowed 33 hits, 13 runs, 10 of which have been earned. He has walked 15 and struck out 48. And he's pitched to an ERA of 1.89. So that's the starting lineup for the visitors from Tohoku. Now the home squad from Fukuoka. Pretty much the same looking lineup, with the exception of maybe one change. As leading off and playing in center field was number 23, Yukio Shudo. Batting second and getting his first start of the series, wearing number 5 is the shortstop, Kenta Imamiya. Batting third and playing second base is number 36, and that is Taisi Makihara. Batting in the cleanup spot and wearing number 9 is Yuki Yanagita. Batting fifth and doing the designated hitting is number 54, Alfredo Despania. Batting sixth at first base, wearing number 7 is Akira Nakamura. Hitting seventh in left field is number 32, Tetsuro Yanagamachi. Batting eighth at third base, wearing 00 is Hikaru Kawase. And batting ninth is the catcher, number 19, Takuya Kai. And they're going to be facing a left-hander as the Golden Eagles are going to roll out Kyoshi Fuji. He is 1-2 on the year with a ERA of 4.30. He's worked 14 2/3 innings. He's allowed 14 hits, given up 7 runs, all of which have been earned. He's walked 6 and struck out 6. So those are your starting lineups for the Hawks and the Eagles. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action as we begin here with a little message from our friend Steve Rademacher.
Hello, guys. Steve Rademacher coming at you. I'm having my 500 subscriber giveaway if we get there by the end of this year. That's my name and my channel, Steve Rademacher. All you have to do is be publicly subscribed, and then you can enter to win once we hit the magic number. Either an unopened, still sealed box of Star Trek official trading cards, Next Generation and Original Series. If that's not your cup of tea, we have Fleer Adrenaline with a Deerdick rookie card. I have pulled out an autograph from one of these, and there are relics. If that's not your thing, how about an unopened box of 1987 Donruss Baseball? Just come watch me, subscribe, and enjoy the show. Thank you.
Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the game and Last Raps Baseball. This is Dave, Zero Thought Sports Cards. If you like pack openings, baseball, all that good stuff, check us out. Drop a comment on our channel this month to win a mystery pack of cards. All you gotta do is say Last Rap sent you to be entered. And we'll drop a video later on this month announcing the winner. Enjoy the game.
Welcome back, everybody. They're just completing the first pitch festivities in Fukuoka. As it's always entertaining when they bring out their first pitch guest. They also have the batter for the visiting team stand in as if they're ready to hit. And not tonight, though, but usually the mascots are in behind the catcher and they are acting the part as the umpire. So that is it as that festivity is over with. And we are about ready to get this one underway. It is going to be the top of the order coming up for the Eagles. It'll be Nishikawa, Kobakata, and Asamura. Pretty much this is the lineup that they fielded on the Friday night game, did the Eagles. Eagles had a lot of opportunities in the Friday ball game. They stranded 13 runners on base, unable to capitalize with some key hits. Hiroki Shimochi has been the big star for the Eagles over the first two games of this series, as he has driven in all 4 runs. He had 2 homers on Friday night. He had the lone RBI in yesterday's game to drive in the only run of the Eagles. On the flip side of the coin, the story has been the relief pitching in the first game of the series, or first game of this series for the Hawks, as they had to go back-to-back nights after they had returned home from the game against the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters, where they used a number of pitchers over 12 innings. They had to come back with 9 pitchers on the Friday night game. And yesterday, they got themselves a good start from Takeda. Were able to bring it home as they cruised to a 9-1 victory. So now Wada has completed his warm-up tosses, and we're ready to get this one underway, as it is going to be Nishikawa, Kobakata, and Asamura to lead it off here against them in the top of the first inning. So Wada now reaches for the rosin bag. He's up on the top of the rubber, and we're ready to get this one underway. So the left-hander Wada gets the sign from his catcher Takuya Kai, and he rocks into the motion. And here's the first pitch of the ball game. It is a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes to Nishikawa. Nishikawa batting .227. He's got 7 homers and 34 runs batted in. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that catches the outside corner, and the count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Nishikawa. We talked about this as Nishikawa had a fantastic March-April. He has absolutely tanked after that. There's the fastball that misses outside. The count is now 2-1. He was named the Pacific League Player of the Month for March and April, and then his batting average and everything has slipped. He's batting .227. Started to get it going a little bit here more recently, and there's a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to first. A diving play by the first baseman, Nakamura, and he dives and flips it to Wada covering, and that is going to be the first out of the inning. It's going to go down as a ground out 3-1 for the first out, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Hiroto Kobakata. Really fantastic play by the first baseman, diving into the 4-hole to make that play. And the underhand flip retires Nishikawa in time. The speedy Nishikawa at that, as both Nishikawa and Kobakata, when they do get on, they're a very dangerous double do at the top of the batting order. So Hiroto Kobakata steps to the plate. He's hitting .293 with a homer and 17 RBIs. He was aboard last night in the series here. In the series opener, he had a 3-hit night. Actually, it was a 2-hit night and 2-walk night. And last night he had himself a hit and a stolen base. And the first pitch is taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Wada back to work and delivers. It is a fastball that just misses low. And the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Kobakata. Kobakata stole his 16th base last night. You would have to really get it going for a chance to get to 30 as the breaking ball is taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-2. But he has got his batting average up to 293. He's approaching that 300 mark. There's only 2 hitters in the Pacific League that are batting north of 300. As the fastball misses down, and the count is now 2-2. As Go Matsumoto, the star outfielder for the Fighters, and also the star for the Oryx Buffaloes, Masataka Yoshida, the only 2 players batting 300 or better. As the fastball is fouled away, the count remains at 2-2. But Kobakata now hitting 293 and Shimochi hitting 294 are knocking on the door for the Golden Eagles. So here's Wada's 2-2 pitch. As he kicks and delivers, it's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kobakata digs himself in, and he's bent at the knees, hitting from the left side against the lefty Wada, who rocks into the motion after getting the sign from Kai, and he kicks and fires. And there is a fastball swung on and missed. Kobakata is gone for the second out of the inning, so 2 up and 2 away, and is going to leave it all up to Hideto Asamura. For Asamura, he is batting .261. He's got 18 homers and 60 runs batted in. He's had himself a nice bounce-back season. He's basically, productive-wise, the same totals as he had a year ago. But he's still got almost 2 months of a season left to play. And there's a fastball swung on. It's fouled away. And here we go as it's fouled right off of Takuya Kai. He's just going to need a moment to regain himself. Snowballs and 1 strike. Last night's ball game, in the first 3 innings, the home plate umpire took a couple of shots, as did both of the catchers. And so Kai has that one out of the way here early on the 12th pitch of the ball game. And there's a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count goes to 0-2. When there, it was foul tip. Looked like it caught him in the right side of the chest. So no balls and 2 strikes to Asamura. Wada rocks and delivers. And it is a fastball that just misses outside, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Asamura. Lefty Wada back to work again as he gets his sign and he rocks into the motion. He kicks and he fires. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded through the 6 hole into left field. And Asamura is aboard with a 2-out single, and that'll bring up the hot-hitting Hiroki Shimochi. Shimochi in the series, as we said, the Eagles have scored 4 runs, 3 on Friday, 1 on Saturday. He has driven all of the runs in. He had a 2-run shot and a solo shot in the Friday game. And in yesterday's ball game, he knocked in Kobakata, and he's provided all of the offense so far. So he's hitting .294 on the season. He's got 10 homers and 55 runs batted in. Batting from the left side against the lefty Wada. I'm set at the belt. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Shimochi. The lefty Wada ready to go back at it again, and he is ready to deliver as he kicks and fires. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Shimochi digs in. He's waggling the bat. And now he's waiting on the offering here from the lefty Wada. As Wada comes set, checks the runner at first. And now he delivers. It is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 1-2. That's the one thing you notice with Wada. As soon as runners get on base, he really slows the tempo and the pace down. He works fairly at a decent rate with nobody on, but as soon as the runners get aboard, he starts to really, really grind to a halt. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Shimochi. Again, Wada holds at the belt. He checks the runner Asamura at first and now delivers. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded to the right side. It is fielded neatly by the first baseman Nakamura, and he runs over and steps on the base ahead of Shimochi. It's going to be a ground out to 3 for the 3rd out of the inning, and that will do it here in the top of the 1st. So for the Golden Eagles, there was no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We're through a half inning. It is the Golden Eagles, nothing. The Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in 60 seconds with the call. The bottom of the 1st inning in just a couple moments after this. Glad you guys could be here with us tonight. Whether you listen live or on delay, it's always a pleasure to have you.
Hello, kids. Steve coming at you. It's Steve Rademacher. And if you like interesting stuff, if you like to laugh a little bit, and if you enjoy collecting, this channel's for you. If you like non-sport cards, we have them. You like pseudo-sport cards, we open them. Even if you like entire boxes of completely pointless stuff or other sports, we have everything here. I drop a different video every day, and there's always a theme to it, from No Filter Friday to Saturday morning cartoons, even Sunday shoutouts. Once in a while, we'll get a little froggy and show Money Money Monday, where I showcase a bunch of my currency. We have Legos, we have Star Wars, we have a good time. We even have my brother on Takeover Tuesday. Be there or be square. Back to Freddy.
Appreciate you, Steve, and your support of the channel, and in turn, we support Steve Rademacher. Be sure to check him out after the ball game. It is going to be the top of the order coming to bat for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. That means Yukio Shudo, Kenta Imamiya, and Taisi Makihara to get things going for the Hawks in their half of the 1st, as they're going to be facing Kiyoshi Fuji. Shudo on the season batting .289. He's got 4 homers and 11 runs batted in. He's going to step to the plate to get things going. He's been the fire starter at the top of the order the first 2 games of this series for the Hawks. In last night's ball game, he was aboard 3 times. He had a couple of walks and reached on a fielder's choice. The first game of the series, he had a single and a walk as well. So 5 times out of the 10 at-bats as he's been on, and he swings at the first pitch and he lines this ball into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Picking it up is Tatsumi, and he fires it back in, and that is going to hold Shudo to a long single. So that ball was hit into the right center field gap. So the first pitch of the ball game, and the Hawks have picked up where they've left off in the last couple of nights as the hit parade in Fukuoka continues. So the speedy Shudo is somebody to watch. He's got 12 stolen bases on the season. That brings up the shortstop Kenta Imamiya. Imamiya batting .292 with a homer and 18 RBIs. He has long been, Imamiya, the sacrifice bunt all-time leader in the Pacific League. I'm not sure if he's going to square the bunt here, but yes, he is. He squares the bunt, and he takes a first pitch fastball for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Normally, he likes to show the early break, but this one here, not tonight. He was a late break on that one. So no balls and 1 strike to Imamiya. Imamiya batting from the right side against the left-hander Fuji. And Fuji holds set. He checks the runner at first and now delivers. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count now goes to 0-2. Defensively tonight for the Golden Eagles, from left to right in left field, it is Haruki Nishikawa. The center fielder is Ryosuke Tatsumi. The right fielder is Takeru Okajima. Around the horn from first to third, it is Daichi Suzuki at first. The second baseman, Sadero Asamura. The shortstop is Hiroto Kobakata. And the third baseman is Igoro Moji. And the battery is Fuji and Simatani as a fastball misses outside, and the count is now 1-2 to Imamiya. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. The left-hander gets the sign from his catcher, Simitani, and he comes set to the belt. He checks the runner at first, and he throws over, and they've got Shuto leading the wrong way, and he has been picked off first base. I want to see that one again. That would have been one of the better moves we've seen this year in the NPB, as Fuji, on a complete read move, is able to throw over and pick off the runner. He was going the wrong way. So Shuto is gone for out number 1 on the pickoff, 1-3. That is going to keep the count at 1-2 to Imamiya, as we've got 1 out now here in the bottom of the first inning. And the pitch is swung on. It is grounded over to third, backhanded by Moji. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Imamiya. So just like that, there's 2 outs on the ground ball that is going to retire Imamiya on ground out 5-3. So that's going to bring up the second baseman, Taisi Makihara. Makihara has had himself a pretty good series in this one, as he is batting on the season. He's got .295 batting average with 6 homers and 32 RBIs. Makihara had a double in the win on Friday, and he had 3 hits in last night's ball game. And here's the first pitch. It is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. And the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Makihara. Another lefty-lefty matchup, as the lefty Fuji delivers a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. We are going to be posting our schedule coming up over the next week. We will be doing the game on the Mountain Holiday, which is on August the 11th. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is now 1-2. We will look to do the Oryx Buffaloes and Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles, so it'll be a midnight, or not a midnight game, but it'll be a 10 o'clock game Pacific or 1 a.m. Eastern if you were in North America and pop in on the time zone. So here comes the 1-2 offering, as the lefty holds set at the belt, working from the stretch with nobody on, and he kicks and fires. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-2 on Makihara. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. The right fielder, Yuki Yanagita, waits his turn on deck. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the lefty kicks and he fires. It's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded over to second. Samira fields it. He throws it on the run, and that is going to retire Makihara on a ground out, 4-3 for the third out of the inning. Well, for the Hawks in their half of the inning, they had no runs. They had a hit. There were no errors and nobody left the board. We are now through 1 complete. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles, no score. The Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a couple moments. We appreciate you guys all for being here. Here's our friend Matt Hollis.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just 1 roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole. Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the second inning. It's going to be Takeru Okajima, Ryosuke Tatsumi, and Daichi Suzuki to face the left-hander Tsuyoshi Wada. Our friend Anthony Money in the house. He says, was I right yesterday? Did the game go under 6.5? And did the Eagles win? Of course, the answer to that was no on both of them. 6.5, a little surprising yesterday with the 2 starters on the mound that game got out of hand like it did. And that is where we stand here tonight, as Tsuyoshi Wada is ready to deliver his first pitch to Okajima, and it's a fastball. Take it for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Okajima on the season batting .247 with a homer and 14 runs driven in. There's a fastball swung on. This is lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats down the third base line, and that's going to run the count now to no balls and 2 strikes. It is very interesting sometimes when you have the games that go on and how they end up playing out. And here comes the offering. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded up the middle. And Mamiya ranges to his left. He fields it. He throws to first. Okajima is going to be retired on a ground out, 6-3 for out number 1, and that'll bring up the center fielder Ryosuke Tatsumi. Think of that game the other night between the Yokohama Dana Bay Stars and the Chichi Dragons. A 1-0 ball game, and you've got 2 starters on the mound who you didn't think would get through the first 3 innings, let alone be able to be locked in a duel of a shutout battle through most of the ball game. And here comes the first offering from the lefty Wada to Tatsumi. He takes it for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Tatsumi batting .262. He's got 7 homers and 25 runs batted in. There's the breaking ball swung on. This ball is picked up fouled off to the right side. It's going to reach the stands behind the first base. And that is going to be 0-2 now to Tatsumi. Our friend Anthony says most games go over in the KBO, he says, or in the NPB. So no balls and 2 strikes. That part I don't know, and I can't answer because I don't follow that tightly enough, as there's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-2. I will say this, though, that over the course of the games, when we watch some of this stuff, as here's the offering from Wada, it's a breaking ball that misses down. They appeal over to the third base umpire, and they say Tatsumi went, and he is gone for the second out of the inning. So 2 away here, and that's going to leave it all up to the first baseman, Daichi Suzuki. Back to our friend Anthony, who says about where the games go over. Really depends on the team. Certainly there's been more scoring this year in the Central League than there has been in the Pacific League. And if you look at the home runs, that would be the case. Certainly there's a couple of teams that are really pounding them out at a huge rate in the Central League. Pacific League, they got off to a slow start. But they've been starting to hit some more homers lately. But if you look at the number of players that are in double digits in the Central League, it far outweighs what you see in the Pacific. And the first pitch fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is 0-1 to Suzuki. Suzuki batting .249 with 3 homers and 19 RBIs. Waiting on the offering here from the lefty Wada, who rocks into the motion, and he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that just misses low, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. The lefty ready to go back to work again as Wada gets the sign from his catcher Kai. And now he rocks into the motion, and he kicks and he delivers. And it is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Suzuki. Wada not wasting any time. He's back into the windup, and he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And Suzuki has gone on strikes for out number 3, and that is going to do it here as the Eagles go in order. There were no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now moving to the bottom of the second inning. We are all locked up at zeros. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back after this from our friend Steve Rademacher.
Domo arigato. Sorry if I mispronounced that. I'm new at this. Thank you for watching Last Raps Baseball. Tell all your friends and family to come check him out, ask some questions during the telecast, and give him a good sub and a thumbs up. And this is Steve coming back at you, and some new things on my channel. Star Wars figures that everybody likes. We have Mad magazines from the 1970s. We try to avoid the Noid. And for your pleasure, once in a while, we can open up Michael Jackson if you want, the cards. We have Elvis. We have Sadahar O. We love everything that is everything, so we even have the Beatles fighting with lightsabers. Look at that, John and George. Once in a while, we'll even have my brother take over my channel on a Tuesday. So once again, everybody tell your friends, come see Freddie at Last Raps Baseball. And right now, I'm going to kick it right back to you, Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and your support of the channel. And in turn, we support Steve Rademacher. Be sure to check out his channel after the game. We are now moving to the bottom of the second inning. It is going to be the heart of the batting order coming up for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. It means it's going to be Yuki Yanagita, Alfredo Despaigne, and Akira Nakamura, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. Yanagita on the season batting .266. He's got 14 homers and 50 runs batted in. He's among the leaders in the RBI category as he waits on the offering here from the lefty Fuji, who kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball that misses inside for ball one, and the count is 1-0. Yanagita batting from the left side against the left-hander Yanagita. As Fuji holds at the belt, and now he kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball again that misses inside. The count is now 2-0. Fuji only 10 pitches in the first inning to retire the Hawks. Allowed that leadoff single to Shuto, but he picked them off when Imamiya was at the plate. And here comes the 2-0 offering. It's a fastball inside, and count now goes to 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes to Yuki Yanagita. Again, going back to work is the lefty, Fuji, who holds at the belt, throwing from the stretch with nobody on, and he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that catches the inside corner. And now the count is 3-1. A game that is not at full capacity at the PayPay Dome. I'm a little surprised over the course of this series how they were just a little bit sparse in their attendance. There was a fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the first base side. And the count now goes full. Last night it was just below 30,000. I say that because the Hawks have now moved themselves into second place in the Pacific, as they are just trailing the Saitama Subu Lions, who are on quite the roll. As here's the delivery from the lefty. It's a fastball swung on and missed. And Yanagita has gone on strikes for the first out of the inning here in this second, and that is going to bring up the designated hitter, Alfredo Despaigne. For Despaigne, he's batting .246. He's got 6 homers and 12 runs batted in. He's played in each of the games in this series. On Friday night, he fell a triple short of the cycle. The big fella has only had a couple in his career in the NPB, and that would have been a sight to see if he would have been able to hit a cycle. Last night, he had himself a hit, and he was hit by a pitch. And he takes the first pitch fastball over for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. A little bit of a fountain of youth he's drinking from lately as he's performed much better for the Hawks. And here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball missing down, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Despaigne. He originally began his career with the Chibalote Marines in 2014. He spent 3 seasons at that organization. There's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is now 2-1. Before moving to Fukuoka, where he, including this year, has spent the last 6 years. Despaigne has twice in his career hit 30 or more home runs. And here's the offering from the lefty. It is a changeup swung on and missed. Despaigne was way out in front, and the count now goes even at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to the right-handed hitting designated hitter who hails from Cuba. Again, the lefty Fuji picks up his sign from Simitani, and he kicks and he delivers. It is a fastball that's taken for a called third strike. Despaigne stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched it go by for out number 2. That is going to leave it up to Akira Nakamura. For Nakamura, he's raised his season average up to .245. He's got 3 homers and 32 RBIs. For Nakamura last night, he had himself 3 hits in the ball game. And that followed up the Friday night game where he was also aboard all 4 times he'd come to the plate, including having a home run and a double. He also walked and reached on a fielder's choice in the Friday affair as well. Here comes the 1-strike pitch to him. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Nakamura. I have to say they don't waste much time, does Fuji. As soon as he gets the ball, he's ready to go back to work. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. As the lefty Fuji comes set, now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Akira Nakamura. Nakamura, the lefty, waiting on the lefty Fuji, who kicks and fires. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left field. Drifting back on it is the left fielder Nishikawa. He makes the catch, and that is going to do it here in the bottom of the second inning as the Hawks go in order. For the second inning in a row, there was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now through 2 complete. It is the Eagles nothing, the Hawks nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the top of the third in just a couple moments. We're glad you guys are with us again.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OP-Chi baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you, Steve, and your support of the channel, and in turn, we support Steve Rademacher. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back here in 20 seconds with the call of this one. It is 0-0, Hawks and Eagles.
Thanks for checking out Freddie and Last Raps Baseball. It's time to announce the winners of this month's mystery pack. Boom! Josh S., you're the winner. Congratulations. Enjoy the game, and remember to tell Steve Rademacher, take a haircut. Back to the game.
Appreciate you, Dave, and your support of the channel, and in turn, we support Dave at Zero Fox Sports. It is going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters coming to bat for the Golden Eagles in their half of the third inning. Goromoji, Jinjiro Sumitani, and Haruki Nishikawa. And the first offering is a fastball that catches the outside corner for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Moji. Batting .231 with 5 homers and 18 RBIs. The lefty is back in the lineup again tonight at third base. As he kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to the Tohoku third baseman. He's talked about it quite a bit as last year when we watched the Golden Eagles play Moji. Every time we seem to watch the Eagles play, he always had a big game. And there's a fastball that misses outside. The count now goes to 1-2. Big game. He always seemed to have a clutch home run or important hit. It always seemed to come around the 4th and the 5th inning. So stay tuned tonight. We'll see what he does then. There's a breaking ball in the dirt, swung on and missed. It is stopped by Kai. He has to throw to first. And that is going to retire Moji on a strikeout 2-3 for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up the catcher, Jinjiro Sumitani. So for Sumitani, he's hitting .247. He's got 4 homers and 14 RBIs. He has been behind the plate for the Golden Eagles in every game of this series. Last night he was 0 for 2 and had a walk. And he was 1 for 3 and a walk on the Friday night game. He is the much-traveled catcher of the Golden Eagles. And here comes the first pitch from Wada. It's a fastball that misses inside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. There's not too many times when you look down the rosters of teams where you see players that have played on 3 or 4 teams. Well, Sumitani is one of them. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined over the head of the shortstop, Imamiya. It's going to get down into left field, and that is going to be a single. Sumitani is aboard. And that is going to bring up the top of the order in Haruki Nishikawa. So Nishikawa steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded to first his first time up. As we mentioned before, he's really struggled pretty much since the first month of the season. His average has started to recover a little bit lately, although he's dropped to 226 tonight. He's got 7 homers and 34 runs batted in. In his first season with the Golden Eagles, as he played last year with the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. So he waggles the bat, waiting on the first offering from the lefty Wada. It kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0 to Nishikawa. We'll also get everybody caught up on the out-of-town scoreboard from around the NPB. There's only one other game currently going on in the Pacific League. The Dragons and the Bay Stars are supposed to start in less than a half an hour's time. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count now goes to 2-0 on Nishikawa. It's in the top of the second inning at the Kisara Dome in Osaka, and it is 0-0 with the Buffaloes and the Fighters. All the action that is happening around the NPB so far tonight. So 2 balls and no strikes to Nishikawa. Waiting on the offering here from Wada, who checks the runner at first, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 2-1. One of the things I would probably ask the Tohoku manager is why they would consider putting the catcher batting last. I say that because it kind of plugs up the base paths for Nishikawa. Sometimes you like to put guys at the bottom of the order that can run a little bit, especially guys at the top of the order. Maybe consider flipping around where Sumitani would move up a little higher in the order, maybe dropping somebody else to the 9 spot. So here comes the 2-1 pitch. That's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 2-2. Sumitani does not have a stolen base this year. And a veteran catcher, does not particularly run very well. As to be expected, he's north of the age of 30. He'll be just turned 35 this year. His career, he only has 8 stolen bases. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. As the lefty holds set at the belt, now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count now goes to 3-2 to Nishikawa. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. We got our friend Quaffs in the house. We appreciate you for stopping by and dropping in. It's a light crowd in here tonight, but that's okay. We appreciate those who've stopped in to listen. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Nishikawa as he waits on the offering here from Wada. Wada now throws over to first base, and getting back easily is the base runner Sumitani. Be curious to see if they do put him in motion here, maybe to try to stay out of the double play. Sometimes that's done when the count is full, even though there's 1 out. So the Hawks are thinking the same thing that we are. There may be something going on here. Here comes the 3-2 pitch now. As Nishikawa waggles the bat, waiting on the offering from the lefty. And it is a fastball swung on. The runner was on the move. That is going to be grounded foul down the first baseline. That's going to keep the count at 3-2. So just as we're thinking the same thing, the Hawks are as well, their brain trust. Got Eric Cheng in the house tonight. How are you doing tonight, Eric? We appreciate you for stopping in. We got 3 balls and 2 strikes to Nishikawa. The lefty Wada ready to go back to work here as he's got a full count here on the leadoff hitter for the Golden Eagles. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. And here's the pitch from Wada. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away. Count remains at 3-2. We got David G.A. in here, and he says, and I have to apologize for my Spanish, but it looks like he's saying hello from Mexico. We appreciate our Mexican supporters that are in here. Surprisingly, when I look at some of our geography that where folks listen from, the majority is from the United States. And then number 2 is Japan. And then we get our other ones from Mexico and South Korea, then Canada. That's usually the way where our audience is being formed for these games. So still 3 balls and 2 strikes to Nishikawa, as the lefty Wada checks the runner at first, and now he delivers. It's a fastball. Take it for a called third strike. The throw down to second base is in time. It is a strike him out, throw him out, as Nishikawa is retired for the second out, and Sumitani is caught stealing 2-6 for out number 3. So for the Golden Eagles and their half of the inning, there was no runs, there was a hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now through 2.5. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks no score, the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call. Bottom of the third inning after this. Welcome back, everybody. It's the bottom third of the batting order coming up here for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Means it's going to be Tetsuro Yanagamachi here, Hikaru Kawase, and Takuya Kai, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters in the batting order to face the left-hander Kyoshi Fuji. Fuji having himself a decent ball game tonight. He allowed the leadoff single to Shuto. He picked him off first base, and then it has been 6 in a row if you include that retired by the lefty. I looked at tonight's matchup, and it's hard to tell sometimes how these games are going to go, especially a day game after the night game. Last night it was a 9-1 victory for the Hawks as they laid a beatdown to the Golden Eagles, and that followed up the 7-3 victory on Friday evening. So right now the Hawks have outscored the Eagles 16-4 in the series. I would have thought tonight would have been more scoring in this one. And here's the first pitch. It is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1. The last couple of nights, my concern was the Hawks bullpen. Now, they've had a day to rest a lot of those arms in that bullpen, so we may be hunting for a sweep here. They've got a good chance to be able to pull it off as that fastball misses outside and the count is 1-1. Our friend Quaff says he's doing pretty good. He went 8-0 with his picks today. It was a 3-team parlay. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, last night if I was giving picks out last night, as pretty good as I did on the Friday games, it was an absolute disaster yesterday. There's a breaking ball taken for a called third strike, and Yanagamachi is down for the first out of the inning. That is going to bring up the third baseman, Hikaru Kawase. For Kawase, he is batting .293. He's got no homers and 8 RBIs. The last couple of nights, he's hit in the 2-hole, and with the return of Imamiya to the starting lineup, it's dropped him all the way down to number 8 tonight. So he bats from the left side against the left-hander Fuji as he waggles the bat. And here comes the offering from the lefty. There is a breaking ball. It's taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Last night during the game, I was brought up the name Jose Marmoleos, who plays for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. Haven't seen him in the lineup over the last month or so, and there's a fastball that misses down. They appeal over to the third base umpire, but they say that Kawase didn't go, and the count is 1-1. Hadn't seen him in the lineup, didn't know if he was injured or not, was looking him up today, and he's down on the farm. He's got almost as many at-bats on the farm as he does at the top flight. There's a fastball that comes under the hands for a called strike, and the count is now 1-2 to Kawase. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And he's not playing a whole lot different in the Eastern League as he is in the top flight, as there's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is now going to remain at 1-2 to Kawase. In fact, he was hitting at 210 when he got sent down, and he's only hitting about 214 at the last look with the Golden Eagles farm team. So they got to get his bat going. He was the AAA MVP last year. As there's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is now 2-2. Think of the Golden Eagles over the last couple of years and how they just really haven't had luck with their signings. One of their signings, Chris Gittins, this year had separated a shoulder in it at bat. We were calling one of the games in the first week of the season, and we haven't seen him since. There's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into the seats down the third base line. The count remains at 2-2. He took a swing and literally left the ball game. At first, I thought maybe it was a rib, but he had to come out as the trainer had come out to get him, and another Eagle had to finish the at-bat. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count runs now to 3-2. Last year, the Eagles also had Brandon Dixon, the former Cincinnati Red and Detroit Tiger, in their lineup. He didn't perform particularly well. Of course, he had a bit of a late start coming over with the COVID rules. And here's the full count pitch. There's a fastball that just misses inside, and that is going to be ball 4 as Kawase gets himself a 1-out walk. That's going to bring up the catcher, Takuya Kai. I take a look at that last pitch, and it probably was inside, but I don't know if that pitch was any different than the pitch that was under the hands early in the count. But that is going to put Kawase aboard with a 1-out walk and bring Takuya Kai to the plate. For Kai, he's hitting 200. He's got no homers and 16 runs batted in. He is quietly pulling his batting average up above the Mendoza line. He had that 2-run triple in the Friday game that iced it for the Hawks. And here he bats for the first time facing the lefty Fuji, who kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is chopped over to third. It is fielded by Moji. His only play is to first. That's going to go as a ground out, 5-3 for the second out of the inning. And that is going to bring up the top of the order in Yukio Shudo. So Shudo is 1 for 1 today, and he was picked off first back in the first inning. It was a pretty good move that we saw by Fuji as well, as I have kind of lamented a little bit with the left-handed pitching that we've seen in the NPB. There haven't been a lot of good moves. That was definitely not just an A move, it was an A+ move exhibited by the lefty. So Shudo has raised his average to 293. He's got 4 homers and 11 RBIs. The lefty holds at the belt. He checks the runner at second, and now he delivers. It's a fastball that misses outside. The count is 1 ball and no strikes. Shudo digs himself back in, waiting on the 1-0 offering from the lefty Fuji. He waggles the bat. He's got a slightly open stance, and here's the offering. It is a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Shudo. The Hawks here are looking for their first run. It's the first time that either team has had a runner in scoring position, as Kawase is the runner at second here with 2 out. And here comes the 1-1 offering from Fuji. He kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 2 balls and 1 strike. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Shudo. The batter on deck is the shortstop Imamiya. The Hawk fans are making noise and cheering on the home club here as they are looking for a clutch hit here with 2 away. And the pitch is delivered from Fuji. It's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is now 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike. We were looking at the batting averages of the players across the Pacific League, and we were saying earlier there's only 2 players that are hitting north of 300. But as far as depth goes in the order, there's a lot of players with consistent averages for the Hawks. And there's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and that's going to be ball 4. That's going to put runners at first and second, and that's going to bring up the shortstop, Kenta Imamiya. When we look at the players in the Hawks lineup, there's just not enough guys with qualified at-bats to get them into that spot. But you look at Kawase, who hitting 293, Yanagamachi at 289 entering the game, and Makihara at 295. And now you got Imamiya at 292. There's a few players knocking on the door to that 300 mark, but just not enough at-bats to get into the chase as of yet. So the runner at first is Shudo. The runner at second is Kawase. Kenta Imamiya steps to the plate with 2 gone here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. We're all locked up at zeros. And here comes the first offering from the lefty Fuji. As he checks the runner at second, and he kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. He's going to reach the seats over on the first base side, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Imamiya tonight 0 for 1. As he grounded out to third base his first time up. So he gets himself dug in, waiting on the offering here from the lefty Fuji. Fuji holds at the belt. He checks the runner at second and now delivers. It is a fastball taken for a called strike. I think Imamiya wanted that one back based on his reaction. He did a 180 in the batter's box. Went for a little stroll. As that runs the count now to 0-2. So Fuji already has 3 strikeouts in the ball game. It's been his breaking ball into the back foot of the right-handed hitters that has done the damage to Despania. And here comes the offering now to Imamiya. He checks the runner at second and now delivers. It's a fastball that misses upstairs. And the count is 1-2. Always interesting to see how they may want to try to set him up to put him away. So they go upstairs, and we'll see if they come right back down. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lefty gets his side from the catcher, and he works set from the belt. Checks the runner at second and now delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is popped up into shallow left center field. Racing in on it is Tatsumi. He's there. He's making the catch. And that is going to retire Imamiya for the 3rd out of the inning. Well, the Hawks, they threaten, but they don't score. There was no runs in the inning. There were no hits, no errors, and 2 left aboard. We're now through 3 complete. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles nothing, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the top of the 4th inning after this when we return from our friend, Steve Rademacher.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OP-Chi baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and the support you give to the channel. And in turn, we support Steve Rademacher. We'll be back in just a moment with the call of the top of the 4th inning after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 2, 3, 4 hitters in the batting order coming up for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles against the starter, Tsuyoshi Wada. The first pitch is a fastball that is taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Kobakata today is 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up as he waits on the offering here from Wada, who kicks and fires. It is a breaking ball that just misses down and away. And the count goes even at 1-1. 44 pitches for the lefty through the first 3 innings of work. Both of the left-handers have been very economical as they have been around that 45 pitch mark. We look for that through 3 innings. As there's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is now 1-2 to Kobakata. Generally, the rule of thumb is you like to have your pitchers work at 15 pitches or below per inning. At that pace there, at least that'll get them into a chance to get to about 7 innings or maybe more. And here comes the offering. It is a fastball that just misses down. The count is now 2-2 to Kobakata. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. This right here, both of the arms have a chance to be able to get into the 6th or 7th inning, which I wouldn't have predicted before this game started. As a fastball is swung on and that's fouled away, it's going to reach the seats over on the third base side, and the count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kobakata digs back in, and he's ready to go here again against the lefty Wada. And here comes the windup as he kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded over to first. It is fielded neatly by Nakamura. He flips it to the pitcher covering. That is going to go down as a ground out, 3-1. For out number 1, that's the second time today that the pitcher has had to get over to cover, and Wada able to take care of business to retire the speedy Kobakata. So that brings up the second baseman, Hideto Asamura. For Asamura, he's batting .261. He's got 18 homers and 60 runs batted in. He singled his first time up tonight as he gets himself dug in. We were talking a little bit earlier, and we've got a situation here on the mound as time has been called. Tsuyoshi Wada has called for the trainer as the pitching coaches come to the mound. They're going to go out and check on him. Curious to see maybe if it's a blister or not. But it looks like it was all for naught. I don't know why anybody came out. The pitching coach came out, the umpire. And just like that, they're returning to the dugout. So I guess Wada says he's good, and we're good to go as well. Our friend Quas says, are we into any other sports beside baseball? Watch it all. What would I say religiously at this point? Probably not much of anything. I know what's going on in hockey, football, basketball, and even in Major League Soccer here in North America. Not maybe as much this year as in other years. There's a fastball taken as for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Asamura. Asamura waggles the bat, waiting on the offering here from Wada, who delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes even to 1-1. National Football League, it's been hard to watch some of that stuff. Obviously, I grew up as a Detroit Lion fan, and being a season ticket holder for the Lions, it's been tough to watch those guys over the last few years. There's a breaking ball that drops in. The count is 1-2. As far as the National Football League is concerned, it's been kind of turned off by the game, the way that there's been some rule changes that have taken place. I don't know if they're not necessarily for the good. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and it's a fastball that makes Asamura skip rope out of the way, and the count now goes to 2-2. The NBA, probably basketball, I've had a little bit more interest in the last little bit. As the 2-2 pitch is delivered, it's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 3-2. Eric says he's a Jets fan and can feel your pain. Ironically, one of the greatest games I ever went to happened to feature the Detroit Lions and the New York Jets. As here's the 3-2 pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to third. It is fielded awkwardly by the third baseman, Kawase. He throws to first, and they're going to retire the runner, Asamura. It was definitely an awkward play. It looked like he was going to go backhanded, but he was able to get his body in front of the ball. And then as he does that, he literally got to the point where he fielded it on the forehand side and threw a one-hopper over to first. And that is going to retire Asamura on a ground out 5-3 for the second out of the inning. That's going to bring up the designated hitter, Hiroki Shimochi. So as I was saying, the Jets and the Lions played one of the greatest games I ever saw at the old Pontiac Silverdome. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Shimouchi. Shimouchi is 0 for 1 tonight. He's grounded to first his first time up. It was the game that Barry Sanders went over the 2,000-yard mark. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is knifed into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit in front of the left fielder, Yanagamachi, and Shimouchi continues his strong hitting as he's aboard with a 2-out single. That's going to bring up Takeru Okajima. But that was also the same time where the linebacker for the Lions had his neck broken on the play, and they almost died on the field. I can't remember the fella's name. I want to say it was Rogers, but it might not have been. He was one of the first-round picks that the Lions had in the mid to late 90s. Jeff Harding's a center who ended up with the Pittsburgh Steelers, was a first-round pick the same year. Actually, it might have been Brown. It might have been Reggie Brown. And Brown had his neck broken and literally almost died on the field. They had to bring the ambulance on to get him off. But it was one of those great games. The Lions had to win that game to get into the playoffs, and they beat the Jets. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is popped up into center field. Moving back underneath it is the center fielder, Shudo. He makes the catch. And that is going to do it here in the top of the fourth inning as the Eagles are retired. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We're through 3.5. We'll come on back and talk all kinds of other stuff when we return. Your score is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 0 and the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 0. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back after this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom of the fourth inning. It is going to be Taisi Makihara, Yuki Yanagita, and Alfredo Despania to come to bat here for the Hawks. In their half of the fourth inning, we were chatting with the chat before the break, and we were talking about the question Quaffs asked, are you into any other sports beside baseball? And then Eric Cheng jumped in and said he's a Jets fan. Of course, I like the Lions, the Pistons, the Tigers, but on the hockey side, it's the Toronto Maple Leafs. That is where my allegiances lie. And Pistons have got 3 championships in my lifetime. I don't know if we'll see any more, but they've got a nice young core they're developing. The Lions, I just hope they win another playoff game. I was at that playoff game back in the early 90s, 1990, when they won their playoff game, 90 or 91, can't remember now. It's been so long as the fastball is taken for a called strike to Makihara. Makihara tonight is 0 for 1. He's grounded out to second his first time up, as he waits on the offering here from the lefty Fuji. See, breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 1-1. So you get an opportunity to go to their sporting events, and I've been a number as a participant, as a spectator. And when you go to enough games, you don't remember a lot, but there are certain games that stand out for you, as there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-1. And you never forget those events, and that's why I say that game with Reggie Brown and the Barry Sanders game, that was a game that I'll never forget. The old Pontiac Silverdome. So 2 balls and 1 strike, and here's the offering from Fuji. It's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is now 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Only 1 hit allowed through the first 3 innings by Fuji, but he had walked a couple of batters in the last inning. His command of his pitches is started to go sideways a bit. Here's the 3-1, and there's a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. The count is now 3-2 to Makihara. Obviously, the Detroit Tigers are been long in our hearts, but unfortunately for the Tigers, they're going to struggle for the next little bit. And there's a fastball swung on. It is grounded up the middle. That's going to be the second hit of the ball game for the Hawks as Makihara is aboard with a leadoff single here in the fourth inning, and that's going to bring up the right fielder Yuki Yanagita. For Yanagita tonight, he is 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. He has pushed himself into the top 5 on the leaderboard of RBIs in the Pacific League. There are a couple players in this ball game tonight that are ahead of him, with Hideto Asamura being one. The other is Hiroki Shimochi. So here comes the first offering from the lefty. It's a fastball swung on. It's grounded foul over on the first base side. And the count is 0-1 to Yanagita. My friend Quaff says it's kind of the same way. He follows pretty much everything. Keep my eye on everything. I don't necessarily follow some of the stuff as tightly as I used to. It's sometimes hard to keep up when you're following Major League Baseball and the NPB like we do, and you're watching transactions. You're trying to remember everything as a fastball misses down and away, and the count is now 1-1. Being able to keep up on all the other sports and all the other activities sometimes gets in the way, and you become almost a casual fan. And that's what I would say about the Vancouver Whitecaps, the soccer team out here. Maybe follow the team, but don't follow the league. Know who the players are locally, but don't know who the players are amongst MLS, as there's a fastball that's swung on and checked foul over on the third base side, and the count remains at 1-2 to Yanagita. I almost call that a regional type of league or a regional sport. You don't really follow the whole thing. You don't see a lot of games on TV outside of your local stuff. So if you follow anything, it might be the local team, but not necessarily the day in and day out stuff of professional soccer in North America. Here comes the 1-2 pitch as Fuji holds at the belt and now delivers. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 2-2. With hockey and with basketball, I do follow what goes on in the divisions. But sometimes, for example, like with the Pistons, I don't follow what goes on the West Coast. Used to be as a kid growing up, I really followed the American League for baseball and didn't really follow the National League so much. And there was a breaking ball swung on. It's pop foul. It's going to reach the seats over on the third base side. It's going to go about 15, 20 rows up behind the third base dugout, and that keeps the count at 2-2. I think if there was one positive to the interleague play, it's forced fans like myself to watch not just the American League, but also the National League. You get to know the players, you get to see them, you get to see a connection when they come to town. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away again by Yanagita. And this is turning into a battle as it's still going to keep the count at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Our friend Eric Cheng said that the Mets won in '86 when he was 1 year old. But he said that really doesn't count. The Knicks was in '72 and the Jets won Super Bowl III all before he was alive. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. And there is a fastball that misses inside, and the count is now 3-2. Our friend DW jumps in. He says, I want to make a bet. Who should I bet on, the Golden Eagles or the Hawks? Because I don't know much about either of these two teams. Well, I would have said before the game started, I would have given the edge to the Hawks in this one because the starter, Fuji, has not necessarily got the pedigree that Wada has. And the Hawks are playing good baseball as of late. So here's the 3-2, but instead throwing over to first base is the lefty Fuji and getting back in time. Our Fred BMW S1000RR says, go with the Hawks. I don't know if anybody else has chimed in. Yeah, the Hawks have been playing good baseball. They're in second place right now in the Pacific League. And that would have been what I would have said before the game. It's been a bit of a weird series. The first game on Friday night between these two teams, the Golden Eagles stranded 13 runners on base. They weren't able to capitalize with all the base runners that they had put on. They weren't able to get that clutch hit. The Hawks won the game 7-3, but in a lot of ways it was the game of lost opportunity for the Golden Eagles. There's a fastball swung on it, is grounded over to short. Kobakata bobbles it. He throws to first. It's not going to be in time. He was moving over towards second base because the runner, Makihara, was in motion. That's going to go down as an E6. As Yanagita is going to be safe at first. It moves Makihara over to second, and that's going to bring up the designated hitter, Alfredo Despania. So he started to his left, and then he had to come back to the ball, and then you can't play soccer on a baseball field and have success because Kobakata was kicking it around a little bit out there, and everybody is safe. Usually sure-handed shortstop. Made a meal of that one, and that's going to bring up the designated hitter, Alfredo Despania. For Despania tonight, he is 0 for 1. He struck out looking his first time up. Our friend DW asked the question, are there extra innings in Japanese baseball? And there's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. There is this year, they've returned to extra inning play in Japan, but they only play 12 innings. So if the game ends after the 12th inning in a tie, then it's a tie. The last couple of seasons, because of COVID, there was no extra inning play. They would stop the game at 9 innings. I don't know why. Whether the virus didn't know that there was only 9 innings. I don't know if it comes out after the 9th or not, but it was something that I never quite understood. As there's a fastball swung on it, it's grounded foul over on the third base side. And the count is now 1-1 to Despania. But there's no funky rules or strange rules that are put into play other than the game ends after 12. So 1 ball and 1 strike. In fact, I kind of like that. I don't like the ghost runner that they've put on base in Major League Baseball where they have the runner at second base. I much prefer to have the game decided, but, after the 12th inning, if they want to run a ghost runner, maybe that might work as well. Quaffs asked the question, do they start a guy on second in extras? The answer to that is no. As the breaking ball misses outside to Despania, the count is 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Despania waiting on the offering here from the lefty Fuji. Fuji's got himself into some difficulties as he's behind in the count. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. He checks the runners, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count now goes to 2-2. So the runner at second is Makihara. The runner at first is Yanagita. There is nobody gone here in the bottom of the 4th inning. So here comes the 2-2 offering. As DW is asking a lot of questions. If you would ask me before the game, I would have said, yeah, the Hawks look like they're in a position to sweep the Golden Eagles. Certainly with the pitching matchup, and now that they've got a night to have rested their bullpen, I think the needle points in their direction. And here comes the 2-2 pitch. As Fuji checks the runner at second base. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses inside, and the count now goes to 3-2 on Despania. And the question DW also asks, he says, are sweeps rare in the NPB? I don't think there's any real difference between the NPB, Major League Baseball, and the KBO in terms of sweeps per se. I don't think there's any one where you can point out and say, hey, this league really, teams are cleaning up and you can pretty much predict the sweep. It's still professional baseball, and usually even the worst teams can win at least 1 game out of 3 for the most part. It is hard to sweep a team away. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. As Fuji delivers, it is a fastball that misses down. They appeal over to the first base umpire, but they say Despania didn't go, and that's going to load the bases here full of Hawks. With nobody out, that's going to put the runner Makihara to third. Yanagita moves to second, and Alfredo Despania has got himself a walk, and that's going to bring up the first baseman, Akira Nakamura. And on top of that, that's going to bring the pitching coach out of the Golden Eagles dugout to talk to his young lefty. Have a conference on the mound. So the bases are full of Hawks. Nobody out, and Nakamura stepping to the plate. Nakamura tonight is 0 for 1. He flew out to left field to end the 2nd inning. So all of this has been magnified with the error by the shortstop Kobakata and the walk to Despania. Fuji is really facing some trouble here now. The infield is in double play depth up the middle. The corners are in. So they're looking to hunt 2 in the middle of the park. And here comes the first offering to Nakamura, and it is a fastball that misses down for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. Nowhere to put the left-handed hitting first baseman. So 1 ball and no strikes. And the Golden Eagles brain trust, they are on the phone to the bullpen, so you got to think that the left-hander here is nearing the end of his rope. There's a fastball that misses low, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Waiting on the offering now. Here is the 2-0 pitch to Nakamura. The lefty gets his sign. He rocks set. And Fuji now delivers. It is a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is now 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. As we're waiting here, Nakamura, 3 balls and no strikes. Oh, he's going to get a good pitch to hit. I wonder if they're going to turn him loose. He's had himself a fairly decent series. Usually with the 6-hole hitter, I wouldn't do that. But with Nakamura standing in here, I might give him the green light. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. Fuji delivers. It is a fastball that misses outside. That's going to be a base on balls. That's going to be ball 4. That's going to walk in a run as Makihara is going to score the first run of the ball game. It's going to advance Yanagita over to third, and Despania moves over to second. It's going to keep the bases loaded, and it'll bring up the left fielder, Tetsuro Yanagamachi. So 1-0, the Hawks now have the lead. And the phone is busy in the Golden Eagles dugout. I was thinking about that the other day, and we talked about it in the Friday stream, and that is I really like the offense, generally speaking, for the Golden Eagles, but I don't think they've got October pitching. If they make it into the playoffs and finish in the top 3, I just don't think they have enough arms to carry them through. There's a first pitch fastball delivered that swung on and missed by Yanagamachi, and the count is quickly 0-1. And it is showing up here in this series against the bats of the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Yanagamachi tonight is 0-1. He struck out his first time up. He bats from the left side against the left-handed throwing Fuji, who rocks in the set position and delivers. It's a fastball that just misses outside, and the count goes even at 1-1. Other games going on in the NPB tonight. They are underway in Osaka, as the Oryx Buffaloes are trailing the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters 2-0. And here comes the offering from the lefty Fuji. It's swung on, it's popped up into shallow left center field. Coming in on it is the center fielder Tatsumi. He makes the catch. Yanagita goes back to third. He retreats to third and doesn't tag. It was too shallow for him. That's going to be the first out of the inning. Yanagamachi did not hit that ball deep enough, as he's retired for out number 1, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Karo Kawase. The only other game that's now underway in the Central League, the Bay Stars and the Dragons are locked up at zeros. That's in the bottom of the first inning. All the other games are later starts tonight. 1 a.m. Pacific or 4 a.m. Eastern if you're on the North American continent. That'll be the Marines and the Lions. At 2 p.m. Pacific or 5 a.m. Eastern, it's the Giants and the Swallows and the Tigers and the Carp. And here comes the first pitch offered to Kawase. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Kawase walked his first time up, and he was stranded at second base. And here comes the 0-1 offering, as the lefty Fuji gets the sign, and now he delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted foul into the seats behind the third base dugout. The count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Our friend Quaffs asked the question, how many teams make the playoffs in the NPB? It's a good question. 3 teams in each of the leagues. We were talking a little bit about this last night in the playoff structure, and they've tinkered with it the last little bit. And you might correct me if I'm wrong. Eric Cheng, I don't know if he's still in here or not, but I'll explain it to you. And if I miss something, you can fill it in as that breaking ball misses outside. The count is a 1-2. So typically what happens is 3 teams make it in the Pacific and 3 make it in the Central. The top team who wins the league, they get a bye, and the 2 and the 3 teams play off. And so the way it's structured last year, as here's the 1-2 pitch, it is a fastball swung on and fouled away over on the third base side. The count remains at 1-2. The team that finishes in second place starts with basically a win. They have a 1-0 lead in the series, and it's the first team to win 3 games. So the third place team has to win 3 times. The second place team has to win 2 to be able to advance. So once that happens, then they go to the league championship series, and then they play, I believe, a best of 5. And then it is there's a breaking ball that is swung on and missed. And Kawase is down on strikes for the second out of the inning. And that is going to bring up the catcher, Takuya Kai. So for Kai tonight, he is grounded out to third in his only trip to the plate. He's 0 for 1. The bases are currently loaded as Yanagita is at third, Despania at second, and Nakamura the runner at first. There's 2 gone here in the 4th as Kai steps to the plate. So as we were explaining the playoff tree and the playoff structure, so once they have what they call their climax series for their division or for their league champion, then they go on to the Japan series. In the Japan series, it's the first team to win 4 games. There's been some years where games have ended in ties, and it's taken 8 games to decide the champion, as there's a fastball that misses upstairs to Kai for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So that's also kind of interesting, too, where they have ties in the games, but it's a sprint to 4 victories. Now, in some ways, I kind of like that. I was talking about that earlier today with some supporters of our channel, and here comes the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses up and away to Kai, and the count is now 2-0. I'm surprised Major League Baseball wouldn't adopt something like that, because you think about it, the first team to 4 wins, if you get a couple of ties in the series and ends up going 3 games, 3, well, it could take them 9 games to decide a champion, and the owners would be loving that. Extra couple of gate receipts. Let's have a couple of more ties. Let's see if we can go 10 or 11 games before they get a winner. So here comes the 2-0 offering to Kai. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-1. So I think that might be something that maybe Major League Baseball owners should consider adopting. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Kai. The Hawks loaded the bases with nobody out here in the 4th inning. They cashed 1 run on the bases loaded walk to Nakamura, and then it's been a flyout and a strikeout. And now that's where we're at here with 2 balls and 1 strike to Takuya Kai. So the left-hander Fuji gets his sign from catcher Sugimoto, and he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is popped up over on the first base side, but it's going to drift into the seats. It's going to run the count now to 2-2 on Kai. Kai had a very important hit in the Friday game. He tripled home 2 runs to blow the game apart late in the ball game, and it was the outfield had played pretty shallow because they were looking to throw the runners out at the plate on a base hit, but Kai ended up shooting the gap in the right center field gap. The ball went all the way to the wall, and he did a triple. So here comes the 2-2 pitch, and Fuji delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to the right side. It's fielded by Asamura. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Kai on a ground out 4-3 for the 3rd out of the inning. While the Hawks, they get a run in the inning. They threaten for more, but they aren't able to cash in. There was 1 run. There was 1 hit. There was 1 error, and 3 runners left aboard. We are now through 4 complete innings. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks won the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call after this from our friend Steve Rademacher. Be sure to check him out after the ball game and let him know Last Raps Baseball sent you.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving now to the top of the fifth inning. It's going to be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters coming to bat for the Tohoku Rakuten Gold Eagles. That means Ryosuke Tatsumi, Daichi Suzuki, and Igoro Moji to face the left-hander Tsuyoshi Wada. And the first pitch is delivered. It is a breaking ball, swung on and missed. And the count is quickly 0-1. For Tatsumi tonight, he is 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. He's batting .262 with... Well, he entered the game batting .262 with 7 homers and 25 RBIs. As the lefty from Wada delivers it as a fastball swung on, it is grounded up the middle for a base hit. Past the glove of the second baseman, Makihara, and Tatsumi is aboard with a leadoff single here in the top of the fifth inning. It's going to bring up the first baseman, Daichi Suzuki. For Suzuki, he's 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his first time up. That's from the left side against the lefty Wada. I'll be curious here to see if Suzuki is a bunt candidate. And being that it is a one-run ball game, to see if they move Tatsumi into scoring position. Curious to see if the Golden Eagles are going to do this here as they're down. And certainly that's what it looks like here is Suzuki steps into the box. He waggles the bat. The lefty Wada comes set. And here comes the pitch. He does square to bunt, and this ball is bunted down the first base line, but it rolls foul. The count is quickly 0-1 to Suzuki. I would think that they really want to execute this here. They want to get the runner over to second, and then they've got Moji and Sumitani to try to bring them home. By all accounts, in this one, they might be feeling that this is going to be a one-run game. Runs are at a premium. So Suzuki already squaring to bunt. He's got himself pre-squared here. The first time he didn't, which I wasn't sure about. Normally he is an early square, and here he does. He gets it down. It's back in front of the home plate, fielded by Kai. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Suzuki. That's going to go as a sacrifice. 2-4 as it's Makihara covering first base. It advances Tatsumi over to second. Puts the runner at second base in scoring position and brings up the third baseman, Igoro Moji. We were doing some foreshadowing earlier in the ball game. I said when we called the Golden Eagles last year, Moji was always coming up big in situations. I can't say that so much this year. But Moji was always coming up big in terms of being able to deliver clutch hits in the 2021 campaign. Every time we would call a Golden Eagles game, he would homer or go off for extra base hits, and it usually came in the fourth and the fifth inning. And so here we are in the fifth. And Moji's at the plate with a runner in scoring position. Wada checks the runner. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. Moji tonight is 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up to lead off the third inning. So 1 ball and no strikes to Moji. Lefty-lefty matchup here. As Wada gets his sign from his catcher, Kai, and he works set at the belt. He checks the runner, and he checks him again, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is grounded over to third. Kawase fields it. He checks the runner back to second, and he fires over to first. It's going to be a ground out 5-3. Another awkward play by the Fukuoka third baseman. I don't know if that's because of the spin on the ball or the way that he's reading it off of the dirt, but he was moving to his right as he looked like he was going to get in front of the ball. When it hit the dirt, the ball kicked to his left. He had to reach back and make the play, and then he fires across the diamond to retire the runner Moji. So he's not making it look easy over there, but he is making the plays, as Kawase. And that is going to bring up the catcher, Jinjiro Sumitani. For Sumitani tonight, he is 1 for 1. He singled back in the third inning. He was erased when he was caught stealing on a strike him out, throw him out. And Wada gets the sign, and he holds set. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on it. It's grounded softly to short. Fielded by Imamiya across the diamond, and that is going to do it. It's a ground out 6-3 for the third out of the inning. There was no runs. There was a hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now moving to the bottom of the fifth inning. It is the Hawks 1, the Eagles nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a couple moments after this for the bottom of the fifth inning. But it does look like we are going to have a pitching change. So we'll get that for you when we return.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Appreciate everybody for checking in tonight. We are looking, and fingers crossed, I've said if this game ends by 12:15 Pacific or 3:15 Eastern, we'll stick around and do the Marines and the Lions for a double dip tonight. But that is depending upon this one here. But we are off to the races, and this game is moving at a quick pace. We'll be back in 30 seconds as we have a pitching change. The Golden Eagles are going to the bullpen. Welcome back, everybody. The Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles are going to the bullpen as they are calling on a young right-hander to come in here. It is going to be Miyamori, Satoshi Miyamori, to come in relief. It's only his third appearance in the NPB. He was originally a 2021 development player, as he was taken in the first round of that phase of the draft. He has worked 2 innings this year, and he has allowed 1 walk. He's not allowed a hit, and he has 3 strikeouts. So the lanky right-hander, tall, lanky right-hander on in relief here. This is, as we said, is only his third appearance in the NPB, so I've not had an opportunity to see him, and I'm curious to see what he brings to offer. So Satoshi Miyamori in here in relief. He'll be the second pitcher used by the Golden Eagles today. So Miyamori is going to be facing the top of the order. It's going to be Yukio Shudo, then Kenta Imamiya, and Taisi Makihara. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses outside for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Shudo. Shudo has been aboard twice tonight. He's got a single and a walk, and there he swings at a fastball. He lifts it into straightaway center field, drifting back and then turning the wrong way, and recovering is Tatsumi, as he's going to make the catch. And that is going to retire Shudo for the first out of the inning. That ball, Tatsumi had turned, and then he turned the wrong way. It wasn't exactly the most beautiful defending by the center fielder, but he gets the job done to retire Shudo for out number 1. Brings up Kenta Imamiya to the plate, and what I mean by that is he drop-stepped, and he was going towards right center field, and then he did an inside pivot, which slows you down. Rather than just turning his head, there was a fastball taken for a called strike. So a play that young players at the high school level would be working on. And here comes the 0-1 pitch, and there's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-1. So center fielder at the top flight of the professional level did not make that look easy. There is action in the Golden Eagles bullpen. As one would expect, there's going to be a pitching parade from here on out. Here's the 1-1. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right field. And moving back on it is Okajima, and he makes the catch. And so 2 up and 2 away, and that is going to bring it up the second baseman, Taisi Makihara. As we said earlier, this game has had a really good clip to it. It did start to slow down a little bit there in the bottom half of the fourth inning when the Hawks had loaded the bases, but for the most part, the pitching had been fairly decent. Fuji, as the starter for the Golden Eagles, was averaging just below 5 innings in his 3 other starts. There's a first pitch fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Makihara. The left-handed hitting Makihara waiting on the offering from the right-hander Miyamori, and it's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count goes to 1-1. Makihara tonight has scored the only run for the Hawks. He's 1 for 2. He singled the lead off the fourth inning. He also grounded out to end the first. And here comes the offering from the right-hander as he delivers a fastball outside, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. As we mentioned, we do appreciate everybody checking into the stream tonight. As here's the 2-1 offering. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined down the left field line. Cutting it off is Shimouchi as he slides. Rounding first and throwing on the brakes is Makihara. A great defensive play by the left fielder Shimouchi. Going hard to that's the left fielder Nishikawa going hard to the foul line. Sliding to make the play so it didn't get all the way to the wall. And that's going to hold Makihara to a 2-out single. It's his second hit of the ball game. And for Makihara, the hot hitting continues. He had 3 hits in last night's ball game, and he had a double in the ball game on the Friday night game, so 4 hits for the Fukuoka infielder. And there's a first pitch fastball delivered to Yuki Yanagita that swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. Yanagita is 0 for 2 tonight. He struck out and he reached on an error by the shortstop his last time up. Batting from the left side against the right-handed throwing Miyamori. He holds at the belt, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Alfredo Despania waits his turn on deck should Yuki Yanagita reach base here. So no balls and 2 strikes to the Fukuoka right fielder. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is lifted into left field. Nishikawa underneath it. He makes the catch. And that is going to do it here in the bottom of the 5th inning. As the Hawks are retired. There were no runs. There was a hit, no errors, and 1 runner left the board. And your score after 5, it is Fukuoka 1, Tohoku nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. It is the proverbial Japanese halftime where they take a little bit extra time to clean the diamond. And we're going to get ourselves a drink of water. We'll come on back to bring this back half of the game home for you. And we'll check the out-of-count scoreboard as well. Right back after this. Appreciate you guys for being here with us. We'll be right back in just a few As it is, going to the top of the 6th inning, we are 1-0 ball game for the Hawks over the Golden Eagles. We'll be right back, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. We'll take a quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard. There's only one other game going on in the Pacific League right now. It is the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters have a 2-0 lead over the Oryx Buffaloes. That game is in the top of the 5th inning. 2-7-0 for the Fighters, 0-4-0 for Oryx. That is where that game stands. In the Central League, there's one other game underway. It is the Yokohama Dana Bay Stars and the Chinichi Dragons. They're all locked up at zeros. That's in the top of the 3rd inning. 0-1-1 for the Bay Stars, 0-0 for the Dragons. And that is where that one stands. Well, Tsuyoshi Wada is on the mound doing his warm-up tosses, and we're going to get back to the action here in just a couple of moments. In this game here, all the scoring happened to come in the 4th inning. It was a leadoff single by Taisi Makihara. He was advanced to second when Hiroto Kobakata booted a ball at shortstop, and that put Yuki Yanagita aboard as well. So they had runners at first and second. Alfredo Despania then walked. That loaded the bases. And then Akira Nakamura came to the plate, and he was walked, driving in the first run. That is where it was. And after Nakamura walked, then the starter Fuji settled down, and he retired the last 3 batters he faced. And that was all the scoring so far through the first 5 innings. So 1-0 here for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. And coming to bat here for the Golden Eagles in the top of the 6th inning. Lead the top of the batting order. It is going to be Haruki Nishikawa, then Hiroto Kobakata, and Hideto Asamura. So the top 3 hitters coming to bat as Wada has completed his warm-up tosses. So here we go back to the live action as the lefty kicks and delivers, and the first pitch fastball is swung on and fouled away. And the count is quickly 0-1 to Nishikawa. Nishikawa tonight is 0-for-2. He grounded to the first baseman his first time up, and he struck out back in the 3rd inning. So Wada getting the sign from his catcher, Kai, and he rocks into the motion. And he kicks and fires. It is a fastball that misses inside, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Nishikawa, as we were lamenting earlier, off to that hot start in the beginning of the season. His first year this year with the Eagles as he's come over from the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. And there's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Nishikawa. The problem is for him, he's been on a free fall with his batting since that opening month. Well, he started to right the ship a little bit recently. His average is at 227 entering tonight's fray. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is hooked down the right field line. It's going to reach the seats. And that is going to be 2 balls and 2 strikes to Nishikawa. Nishikawa does run well. He's got 17 stolen bases, and we were saying earlier that both he and Kobakata, with 17 stolen bases and 16 respectively, do a pretty good job of setting the table and getting themselves into scoring position for the rest of the offense. And here's the 2-2 pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now goes to 3-2. It's only 66 pitches through the first 5 innings for Wada. It's been very economical tonight. One would think that if he can get into even if he can get into the 7th inning, it's just bonus for the Hawks. They were really taxed on their bullpen Thursday and Friday, really having to go deep. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is golfed into deep right field. Moving back onto the warning trap, leaking and trying to make the catch is Yanagita. It's off the wall. Digging for second is Nishikawa, and he's going to slide in safely with a leadoff double here in the 6th inning. Yanagita ran out of real estate. He leaped at the wall, and the ball was just over the outstretched arm. And that is going to be a leadoff double here for Nishikawa, and that's going to bring up the shortstop, Hiroto Kobakata. As we watch the replay of that one there, he did not miss a home run by much, but Yanagita had leapt up. He had a chance to catch it. Just almost maybe looked like it was, not sure mistimed or not, but it was a really weird swing by Nishikawa. It looked like he golfed the ball. Hardly looked like he was able to do it, and that ball went a country mile. As he's aboard at second base with nobody out, and that brings up the shortstop, Hiroto Kobakata. So Kobakata tonight is 0 for 2. He has struck out and he is grounded to first. And he's already squaring the bunt as the Eagles feel that this is going to be a one-run game, and they fake the throw over to second base. And getting back safely is the base runner, Nishikawa. Kenta Iamamiya jockeying with him there. They've got the defense out as Takuya Kai is out flashing signals for the bunt defense. Curious to see if they're going to crash both the third baseman and the first baseman, and if it is, then it's a foot race to the base over at third for the shortstop, Imamiya. So Wada holds at the belt. He checks the runner at second. Again, squaring the bunt is Kobakata. And here's the pitch. He pulls back, and it's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count is 1-0. So maybe the bunt isn't on as much as it is the slash for Kobakata. The third base coach flashes the signs. Kobakata again at the plate, and again Takuya Kai up in front flashing signals to the defense. So they must have something special in case they see the slash. So 1 ball and no strikes to Kobakata. Wada on the mound here. He gets the sign from his catcher. We're at a pivotal point of the ball game as runs could be at a premium here tonight the way that Wada has pitched. And the bullpen for the Hawks to follow. And there is a bunt. It's down. It's a good one. It's back to the pitcher. He looks to third, but he has to throw to first. And it is not in time as Kobakata has beaten it out. That's going to put runners on the corners. It's going to be scored as a hit. I wonder if the Hawks are going to take a look at this one, but the speed of Kobakata, he bunted the ball. He got it down in front of the plate. Wada had just hesitated to look at third. He pumped over to third, and by the time he recovered to throw to first, the throw was not in time, and Kobakata is aboard. That puts runners on the corners with nobody out, and that's going to bring up Hideto Asamura. So a little bit of excitement here at the PayPay Dome. It's the first time tonight that the Golden Eagles are threatening, as they've got runners on the corners and nobody out with Hideto Asamura stepping to the plate. For Asamura tonight, he is 1 for 2. He's got a single and 2 trips. He entered the fray hitting .261 with 18 homers and 60 RBIs. Both he and Hiroki Shimouchi are the major run producers in the batting order here, and that is who is coming up right now, the dangerous part of the Golden Eagles offense. So the runner at third is Nishikawa, the runner at first, Kobakata. And the lefty Wada holds set at the belt. He checks the runner at first, and now he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that misses outside for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Asamura. There are not a lot of Golden Eagle fans in the stands who've made the trek, but those who have are in full voice and making their noise heard across the stadium. As Asamura digs in, waiting on the offering here from Wada. Wada gets the sign from his catcher. He holds set at the belt, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses outside. The count is now 2-0 to Hideto Asamura. So Wada at 76 pitches, one would think is probably nearing the end of his rope. But he has cruised along pretty good here through the first 5 innings. So 2 balls and no strikes. The left-hander comes set at the belt. He checks the runner at first and now delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. We were talking earlier that when the hitter for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks was up at the plate, and that would have been Akira Nakamura, the first baseman, that are curious to see if they were going to green light him at 3-0. But you got to think Hideo Asamura would have green light here against Wada if he gets something that he can handle. So here's the 3-0 offering. It's a fastball swung on, and this ball is driven foul down the right field line. It's going to reach the seats. It's going to run the count at 3-1. You certainly don't want to take the bat out of the hands of the 3 and the 4 hitters, especially the on-deck hitter, Shimouchi. Was driven all the runs home in this series for the Golden Eagles. So waggling the bat is Asamura. And now getting the sign again is Wada. He comes set. He checks the runner at first, and now he kicks and fires. It is a fastball that misses down, and that is going to be ball 4. And Wada has loaded the bases with nobody out here in the 6th inning. Asamura is aboard at first. Kobakata goes to second, and the runner at third is Nishikawa, and that's going to bring up Hiroki Shimouchi. Well, Shimouchi tonight is 1 for 2. He's continuing his hot ways with the bat. On the series, he had 2 homers in Friday's game. He drove in all 3 runs that night. Last night for the Golden Eagles, he was 1 for 4, and he drove in Kobakata as the lone run for Tohoku in last night's ball game. So he steps into the bat here with the Eagles trailing 1-0, and a chance to be able to get them on the board. And Eric Cheng says, what a disaster. Absolutely, Wada has come out here and fallen apart. Here comes the first pitch to Shimouchi. It is a breaking ball, swung on and missed. Shimouchi swung so hard he lost his helmet, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. We do thank everybody who's popped in to listen to us tonight. And as a reminder, we did say if this game wraps up by 12:15 Pacific time or 3:15 Eastern in the North American time zone, we'll add the Chibalote Marines and the Saitama Cebu Lions to the docket. So if you're still up late night, come on back and join us for another one if we'll still be here. And here's the pitch to Shimouchi. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left center field. Racing back and looking up, and it's off the wall. Fielding it is the left fielder, Shudo. He throws it in, and Shimouchi's got himself a double. And 2 runs have come across to score, and the Golden Eagles have taken the lead. It is now 2-1 here as Shimouchi continues his hot ways. He's got himself a 2 RBI double. That's going to score Nishikawa and Kobakata. It's going to hold up Asamura at third. And that's going to bring up the right fielder, Takeru Okajima, as this game has gone sideways all of a sudden for the Hawks. Our friend Joe Mao comes in. I hope I said that correct. He says, why do pitchers crumble in the 6th inning, especially in the Japanese league? Well, one of the reasons for that is when you're up in north of 70 pitches, it starts to become a bit of a problem. Guys get tired. They start to throw their pitches up in the zone and a whole host of things. That ball did not miss going out by much. As it hit the top of the fence, Shimouchi almost had himself a grand slam. As we watched the highlight on that one there, you can see that ball was absolutely smoked into the power alley. And where it hit, when we had to take a look, it just hit the top of the fence. And then when it came down, the way the fence kind of looks at the PayPay Dome is there's padding approximately about 8 feet high. And then there's a chain link fence that goes up probably another 6 feet. So it hit the chain link, then it came down, hit the top of the padding, and then it stuck on the warning track. And that was where that one happened to be. So now there is runners at second and third. And the umpires here were looking at the review on that as they were going in. And I'm not sure what they were looking for. It was pretty self-explanatory to us that that's where it was. And now the manager for the Hawks is coming out of the dugout And he may have come out a couple of batters too late. There is going to be a pitching change. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back to chat with the chat in just a couple of moments. We got a lot of folks in here now. And the Hawks are going to the bullpen as they're now trailing 2-1. We'll be right back in just a couple of moments. After this, from our friend, Steve Rademacher.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and your support of the channel. And in turn, we support Steve Rademacher after the game. Be sure to go check him out. Entering the ball game now for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. They're calling on the right-hander. It's going to be Kazuki Izumi as he's coming on in relief. Izumi has going to be appearing in his 6th game of the year. He's worked 5 1/3 innings. He's allowed 4 hits. He has walked none and struck out 6, and he's got an earned run average of .338. So the 25-year-old here is on in relief. He will be the second pitcher, obviously, used as he's in for the starter, Tsuyoshi Wada. Our friend Joe says, I don't understand why the 6th inning should be the alarm bell kind of in some ways. Another thing to think of, too, is by the time the pitchers start to see the 3rd time through the order, that's where it starts to become a problem, even in Major League Baseball. And so when you think about it, this is the 3rd time through the order for the Golden Eagles, and that's the 3rd look that they've had at Wada. That's where they're able to get to him. Each progressive time through the order, usually the hitters get better against the pitchers the longer that they're out there. And that is statistically proven at pretty much at all good levels of ball, whether it's college baseball or professional baseball. The pitchers start to get tired and the offense starts to do a little bit better. And so here comes the first offering to Takira Okajima, who bats with 2 on and nobody out. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-0. Our friend Eric Cheng had a question, and he says, earlier had mentioned that the Golden Eagles bullpen is taxed. I don't know so much about that because the back-end guys, Masui, who's their closer, and Chihao Sung, who they often use in the 7th or the 8th inning, have not been used in this series. So they have a couple of days off. It's the link guys to get them there that will be the question mark for the Golden Eagles. If they can get to the 8th and 9th innings, they've got a good chance to seal the deal. So here's the 1-0 pitch. And there's a fastball swung on, and this is line foul down the left field line. It gets into that temporary seating we've been talking about the last couple of nights. If you sit in the temporary seating, they're wearing helmets down there. I missed a little bit of the chat before. I have to go back and catch up a little bit to that. Quaffs asked the question, who was favored to win in this game? I would have probably said that, and again, I didn't look at the lines. I don't usually look at the lines on this stuff before the game starts, but I would have been favoring Fukuoka in this one just because of the pitching matchup at the beginning of the ball game. And here comes the offering here. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is grounded into right field. It's a base hit. It's going to score Asamura from 3rd, and that is where it's going to be. Shimouchi is going to stop at 3rd, and Okajima's got himself a base hit single, and the Golden Eagles have another run on the board here. That has increased the lead to 3-1, and the conga line continues to move, as that's going to bring up the center fielder, Ryosuke Tatsumi. So we're just talking about some of this stuff in our chat here. Our friend Joe says some of the managers don't understand some of the same things that happen daily. But Eric Cheng says no stat provides pitchers that crumble in the 6th. You can see that a handicapping edge. There's certainly things that you look for with the pitchers. You look for velocity. If there's a loss in velocity or a sudden loss in velocity, and that really wasn't shown in WADA. You also look to see if the pitchers are tiring, if they're not finishing their pitches or leaving the balls up in the zone. And also, again, not the case with WADA. In fact, the double by Nishikawa to start the inning, it was almost an accidental double. It was like he got his golf club out and had one of the strangest swings to golf that ball. And here comes the pitch. It is bunted down the first base line. It is fielded by the pitcher. They throw home, and they're going to nail Shimauchi at the plate. They tried to squeeze him home, and Shimauchi is going to be retired. That is going to be a putout, a fielder's choice. It's going to go 1-2 for the first out of the inning. But safe at first base is going to be Tatsumi. Okajima is going to advance to second. Nice play by the pitcher, who fielded it with his glove hand and flipped it underhand to Takuya Kai. That is able to retire Shimauchi to plate. I really don't like it when the offensive players slide head first into the plate. They can do their damage sliding into the catcher's shin guards, but that Shimauchi is out here for the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the first baseman, Daichi Suzuki. So Suzuki steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He had a sacrifice bunt his last time up. And the right-hander, Izumi, checks the runner at second, and he delivers. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1 to Suzuki. So no balls and 1 strike. So back to the comments that were moving up a little bit there, as Joe says about the batting averages and the ERA third time around. But it may not necessarily always apply, as Eric Cheng says, to this particular game. It is something, those are tendencies that you have to look at. You have to be concerned about, but it doesn't mean that every time it's going to happen. It's kind of like we laugh a little bit about Dave Roberts, the manager of the Dodgers, how he uses a lot of his computer decisions to make decisions. As the fastball that misses upstairs, the count is 1-1 now to Suzuki. You can use analytics to help you make decisions, but every game is going to be a little bit more difficult. The managers are going to have to see how the pitcher is. He's going to have to see how they feel. And really, to this point, through 5 innings, WADA really never ran into any issues. All the issues began here in the 6th inning. And so here comes the 1-1 pitch. There's a fastball swung on, and this ball is lifted down the left field line. That ball is going to reach the seats, and the count is now 1-2. Joe says, yeah, there are a lot of people who laugh at Roberts for making some of those decisions. Well, certainly last year, the decisions came up right for him, as or a couple of years ago when he won the World Series, I should say. Dave Roberts, though, has been maligned a lot by some of the decisions that he has made. I think sometimes he may put a little too much stock into his computer, but at the end of the day, it has got them a World Series, so it's hard to criticize that. There's a fastball that misses down in the dirt. It squirts away from Kai. It gets all the way to the backstop, and that is going to advance the runners over to second and third. That's going to go down as a wild pitch, and that's going to run the count to 2-2 to Suzuki. That ball bounced just in front of him, and that ended up going over to the third base side of home plate. There's a lot of real estate between home plate and where the dugouts are and right to the backstop. The minimum distance at the major league level is 60 feet from the point of the plate to the backstop. But I don't know what the distance is at the PayPay Dome, but it sure looks like you almost need a 4x100 relay team to go get the ball. There is a lot of room in foul territory. It almost reminds me of the Oakland Coliseum in some ways, just for the amount of space that there is at the PayPay Dome. So here comes the 2-2 pitch as Izumi gets the sign from his catcher, Kai. He comes set. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul down the third baseline. It's going to get into the seats, and that keeps the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Suzuki. The runner at third, Okajima. The runner at second, Tatsumi. There are 3 runs in here. in the top of the 6th inning, and the Eagles are threatening for more. Crowd is cheering now loudly for the road club, as there's not a lot of fans who've made the journey to Fukuoka. They're right at the opposite ends of the country from one another. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now is still going to remain at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As we mentioned, if this game wraps up in the next 75 minutes, then we'll come back and do the game at 1 o'clock as well. So if you guys are still up and around, I want to come on back for more, we'll be here. But that is dependent on the finish of this one. And it was really cruising along through the first 4 innings, unlike the last couple of nights, as we had almost a 4-hour game on Friday, and this one here, last night it was about 3 hours and 40. There's a fastball that misses upstairs to Suzuki, and the count now goes to 3-2. Our friend Eric says the Kaido Nippon Ham Fighters cashed in their first 5. So he's got the good vibes flowing tonight. So here comes the 3-2 pitch, as the right-hander Izumi holds at the chest. And he now kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball, swung on and missed, and Suzuki has gone on strikes for the second out of the inning. That's an important strikeout by Izumi. And that is going to bring up the third baseman, Igoro Moji. Our friend Joe Mao says the Nippon Ham Fighters scored 2 in the 6th as well after that. Not sure if Oryx left their starter in there as well. I'll have to go and take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Now, Oryx, well, I'm not sure. Oryx had taken their starter out after 5. They'd already gone to the bullpen. As Takuya Kai is out to the mound to have a word with his right-hander. So Igoro Moji striding to the plate. He's 0 for 2 tonight. He is struck out and he is grounded out. He's the 8th hitter to come to bat here in the 6th inning for the Golden Eagles. So here comes the first offering from the right-hander. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. Eric says, I wish every PB game was early like this. Well, we are going to be doing another one this week. It is going to be the Mountain Holiday, which is the 11th, August the 11th in Japan, which puts it on the 10th. And it'll be the Buffaloes and the Golden Eagles. We're going to call that game at 10 o'clock Pacific or 1 a.m. Eastern. That'll be on Wednesday evening North American time. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is now even at 1-1 to Moji. So if you guys are up at 10 o'clock Pacific on Wednesday evening, we'll have that one for you. And then we'll be back on the weekend next week. We haven't totally sorted out our schedule yet. We are going to be starting to put the schedule up here tonight and tomorrow so you guys can look ahead. We'll call a couple of major league games during the week, as well as we're going to do the Padres and the Dodgers Sunday nighter tomorrow night. There's a breaking ball that just misses, and the count is 2-1. Our friend Joe says, how you calling the game? Are you at the game? No, we're not calling the game at the game. Wish we were, though. We got the stream going here, and we're relaying you all the good stuff. So 2 balls and 1 strike. As the right-hander Izumi checks his side from his catcher Kai. He works set at the belt. He checks the runner at second. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that is swung on, and it's fouled away right into the catcher Kai, and that runs the count to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Joe says, always feels like the game slows down in the 6th inning. And I would 100% agree with you, Joe. And the reason for that is this, in my opinion. And I kind of curiously wanted to see why, but usually the starters who are in the game, they work with pretty good tempo and pace. As soon as the game gets flipped over to the relievers, all the relievers have a different tempo and pace on how they work. And they seem to work a little bit slower than what the starters do. And that seems to what slows the game down, in my opinion, in the NPB, but also in Major League Baseball. There's a fastball that misses down to Moji, and the count is now 3-2. And what I mean by that is when you're working with young pitchers and you're teaching them to work, and not just young guys, when you're working with college guys and pro guys, kind of the general rule of thumb is you want your pitchers to work efficiently. Maybe not ultra quickly, but efficiently. And usually that rule of thumb is by the time they get the ball back from the catcher, it's 15 seconds from the time they get it back to the time they release the pitch. Well, some of these guys are working at 20, 25 seconds. It just puts the defense to sleep. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And Moji is down on strikes for the third out of the inning. And that is going to do it here. But there's been damage done in the top of the sixth inning. There were 3 runs by the Golden Eagles scored in the inning on the benefit of 4 hits. There were no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. We are now through 5.5. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 3, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 1. Stick around. We'll be right back in just a couple moments after this. We're glad you guys are with us. Here's our friend Matt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Everybody, it is a reliever that's coming into the game. It's going to be Chi-Hao Sung coming in. This is going to be his 33rd appearance for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. He's 4-2 on the year. He's worked 31 innings. He's allowed 26 hits, 8 walks. He's struck out 26 at an ERA of 2.61. So the right-hander on in relief pitched the 6th inning. And he is going to be facing Alfredo Despaigne, Kira Nakamura, and Tatsuro Yanagamachi. So Song in relief here in the 6th, a little earlier than what I would have thought. But we have seen him come in a little bit in the 6th inning in previous outings. A couple of weeks ago when we saw the Golden Eagles, he did come in the 6th. So Sung in relief as he is taking over here for Fukuoka. We would expect a full-on pitching parade for both of these teams now to the end of the ball game. This will probably be 1 innings at a shot, as it'll be the battle of the bullpens from here on out. So here comes the first offering to Alfredo Despaigne, and he swings at a split-finger pitch. And the count is quickly 0-1. Despaigne tonight is 0-for-1. He struck out looking, and he walked in his 2 plate appearances. His average has slipped to 244. 6 homers and 12 RBIs. Hit his 6th homer on Friday evening. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Song is one of the few Taiwanese players that apply their trade in the NPB. Our friend Eric says the Golden Eagles bullpen is going to blow this game. There's a fastball that swung on and fouled away, and the count is 1-2. I really haven't seen enough this year to get a feeling of how they're using their pen. Last year, it was kind of, they would use Sung late in the 8th inning. They'd have Masui in the 9th. They would also have Anraku, but they also have Alan Pazenitz, who we haven't seen early on. So he would come out of the back end of the pen as well. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 2-2. And so those pitchers, other than Enraku, have not been used in this series, so they have a little bit of rest. With the lead, they used some different arms than they do when they're behind. Our friend Joe says this game will end up 3-3 or a 3-2 type. Well, the bullpen for the Hawks will get tough if they've got Levon Manello. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is hooked foul into the seats down the third base line, and the count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Alfredo Despaigne. I didn't look at the game sheet for this one to see the other ones who are on the list. But also, too, looks like that they do have Bazenets listed as well as Matsui, so we would expect probably them to come. And there's a fastball taken on the outside corner for a called third strike. Despaigne stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched it go by for out number 1. And that is going to bring up the first baseman, Akira Nakamura. So those would kind of be who I would anticipate would be the ones to come in. So Bazenich for sure. And also Matsui at the back end. We have seen Sho Suzuki. He's a left-hander that's down in the pen. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Nakamura. Nakamura tonight is 0 for 1. He flew out to left, and he walked in, brought home a run with an RBI on a bases-loaded walk back in the 4th inning. This game has got a strange vibe to it. And there's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep right field, but there's room and space there for Okajima, who camps out underneath it, and he makes the catch. And that is going to retire Nakamura for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away. That'll bring up the left fielder, Tetsuro Yanagamachi. The other thought would be, I don't know if they are in the habit of using Sung for a couple innings this year. I know last year we would see him sometimes come out, and he would come out for more than just 1 inning. Only 8 pitches here so far, as he faces the left-handed hitting Yanagamachi, who's 0 for 2. He has struck out and flown to center in his 2 trips. And here's the first pitch. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1 to Yanagamachi. I do have to say that when they do get to the 9th inning, and if it is Matsui taking to the hill, he's never easy in getting the hitters out. He usually has to work and throw a pile of pitches. There's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count is 1-1. He can do the job, but if you're a Golden Eagles fan, it's usually a white knuckle time. So Quaffs asked the question, does the NPB have farm teams? It's a good question. Yes, they do. The total number of players that they have between the top team and the farm team, and there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Okajima fields it, and he fires it back into the infield as Yanagamachi is aboard with a 2-out single. The farm teams, they play in different, I don't want to call it leagues, but they have 70 players can be signed to professional contracts or top contracts in the NPB. And between the first team and the second team, or the farm team, that's where the rest of the players will play. So technically, they don't really have an injured list that all the rest of the players are down on the farm or recovering at that point. There's a fastball that comes onto the inside corner for a called strike. And the count now is no balls and 1 strike to Kawase. Our friend Eric says 4-3 Hawks. I don't know if he's predicting that as a final. There's a fastball swung on it. It's hit down the left field line. Racing over is Nishikawa. He's going to make the catch as he runs into the wall. And that is going to do it as Kawase is retired for the 3rd out of the inning. I'll come back in a couple of minutes and we'll talk a little bit more about the farm teams that they do have. So there was no runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 6 complete. It is the Eagles 3, the Hawks 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back for the call at the top of the 7th inning when we return. We appreciate you guys for being here. Be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the 7th inning. It is going to be the 9-1-2 hitters in the batting order, and that means it's going to be Jinjiro Sumitani at the top of the order of Haruki Nishikawa and Hiroto Kobakata. Our friend Quaffs asked the question in the last half inning about the farm teams. So, yes, there are farm teams. Each team has one. As we said, there's 70 professional contracts that each team has. As there is a pitching change here for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, so I'll get you that as we move along here, as well as it is going to be Shino on in relief. So Arata Shino is coming in. It's going to be his 16th ball game pitched this season. He has worked 20 innings. He's allowed 15 hits, 10 walks. He's struck out 18, and he's got an ERA of 1.35. So Arata Shino is on in relief here as pitcher number 3 used by the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. So farm teams, they don't play in the same sort of division structure or setup. There's the Eastern League and then there's the Western League. I think there's 7 teams in one and 5 in the other, I think is how they structure it. I'd have to go back and take a look off the top of my head. I don't spend a lot of time looking at the farm stuff. So here comes the first pitch. It is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Sumitani. Sumitani tonight is 1 for 2. He singled in the 3rd and he grounded to short in the 5th. So no balls and 1 strike. A right-hander takes the sign from his catcher, Kai. And now he comes set at the belt. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded through to the 6th hole, backhanded by Imamiya. He throws to first, and that is going to retire the catcher for out number 1 here in the 7th inning. It's a ground out 6-3. So 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the top of the order in Haruki Nishikawa. So Nishikawa steps to the plate. He's 1 for 3. He got the party started in the 6th inning for the Golden Eagles when he had a leadoff double and later came around to score in the 6th. He's also grounded out and struck out in his other 2 trips to the plate. So the farm teams, and that was the question that came up last night, was Jose Marmolejos, who has been with the Golden Eagles. He got sent down, and he's been languishing in the farm team since then. So there's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So they play a full slate of games. They usually play earlier in the daytime, as they also play the Tuesday to Sunday schedule with the Monday off typically. So here comes the 0-1 pitch as Shino delivers a fastball that just misses down and away, and the count is 1-1. So guys can get sent down. They can go down and get their opportunity to come back up. And same thing, if a guy gets injured, it's a good spot to be able to get their timing back, especially for hitters if they've been out of action for a while. They go down, get 2 or 3 games in to try to gain their timing. But the quality of the ball does drop off, and it's in some ways kind of varied. I think of it in some ways like when major league players are in spring training and early spring training and they get their 1 or their 2 at-bats in. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 1-2. And they want to get out of the game before the A-ball right-hander who comes in throwing 98, who doesn't know where the ball is going. Well, in some ways, the farm teams in Japan have some of those kind of guys. They got guys who can throw the ball hard. They don't always know where it's going. And so some of those guys on the rehab, when they get down there, it's, hey, let's get out of here as quick as we can. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses outside. The count now goes to 2-2 on Nishikawa. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. For Shino, he appeared in the game on, as we look at our game sheet, on the Friday night game where the Hawks had to go to the bullpen early. It was back-to-back nights. The Thursday and Friday, they had to really go to the pen. There's a fastball swung on. It was grounded softly over to second. Charging in is the second baseman, Makihara. He makes the play and throws to first. And that retires Nishikawa in time on a ground out 4-3. That is out number 2 here in the 7th inning, and that's going to bring up the shortstop, Hiroto Kobakata. For Kobakata tonight, he is 1 for 3. He singled his last time up and scored one of the 3 Golden Eagle runs. He's also grounded to first and struck out. So 1 for 3. We've got Mick 3Y in the house here. We welcome you in. We were taking attendance earlier and we didn't have you in, so good to see that you've checked in with us. We appreciate you being here. And stick around, Mick. We may add another one to the schedule. If this game can wrap up in 45 minutes or less, we'll add another one here. We'll be back on late night tonight. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Kobakata. Kobakata hitting .293 with a homer and 17 RBIs. Waiting on the 1-0 offering here from Shino. As he holds set at the belt. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count is even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Eric Cheng says, better late than never. That's for sure. The guy we are missing tonight is we haven't seen Alexander Leggett check in. But our friend Breathe Deep is here. And he says, do you think they'll score 2 more runs for the over? Here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, I guess it depends on who you ask, Breathe Deep. If you ask our friend Joe, who's in the chat here, he's going to tell you no way. But Eric Cheng, I'm not sure if he's got any thoughts on that one. We're getting into a point right now with the bullpens where they could seal this one off, and we may not see a whole lot of scoring the rest of the way. There's a fastball that's swung on and lifted foul over on the third base side. It's going to reach the seats. Keeps the count at 1-2. Our friend Mick says he's got Hanshin, was going to take the Giants. It's a bit of a toss-up. Eric says he's got SSG in the first 5. KBO seems solid. Can't really give you a whole ton of comments on the KBO stuff. Don't follow that much at all. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 1-2. Talk about that regular. It's just hard to be able to do that. It's tough enough watching the NPB and MLB. Add that third one in, it just makes it a little bit more difficult. Although I did see a couple of transactions. I think it was Matt Dermody. He was a pitcher. There was something that went across the wire today that indicated that he was going over to the KBO. There's the breaking ball swung on. This ball is lined past the glove of the shortstop, Imamiya. And Kobakata is going to be aboard with a 2-out single. That's his second knock of the ball game. And that is going to bring up the second baseman, Hideto Asamura. Not by much. Imamiya was maybe about a couple of feet away from that one as he made a good effort to try to get it. Nice job of the shortstop Kobakata staying inside the ball to be able to hit that. I would say right now, this is a situation where we got to keep our eye on Kobakata. He's got 16 stolen bases on the season. I would think that he's going to turn this into a track meet. He's going to try to get himself into scoring position because a base hit from Asamura would be able to score him from second. The speedy Kobakata establishes his lead at first. Asamura tonight is 1 for 2. He's also walked and scored a run. And here comes the first offering from Shino. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Maybe as it gets deeper into the count, maybe a hit and run, but maybe even right now, there's a fastball count coming up here to Asamura. So either a straight steal or maybe hit and run here. We're going to keep our eye on the runner at first. Kobakata has got himself a healthy lead. He's got 1 foot on the turf, 1 in the dirt. And Shino delivers. There goes the runner. But he slams on the brakes as he was in a fake steal situation. That pitch missed outside for a ball. The count's 2-0. Sometimes you'll see that with teams that if the pitcher slide steps, as Shino did, they'll shut down the steal just because he's a little bit quicker to the plate. So 2 balls and no strikes. So Quaffs asked the question, what do you got into the NPB? And here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 3-0. And I think that question is probably more for Eric or the guys, because I don't know if that's directed at me or not. So 3 balls and no strikes to Asamura. The runner at first is Kobakata. There's 2 outs here in the 7th. All of the trouble started here with 2 outs as Kobakata's got himself that base hit. Our friend Mick says I should do the Hanshin game. I want that game to be under 4 hours. I'm not sure I want to do that one. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. That's going to be ball 4, and Asamura is aboard for the 3rd time tonight. It's going to bring the pitching coach out of the Hawks dugout, as it's going to bring up the hot-hitting Hiroki Shimochi. Of the 7 runs that have been driven in this series, Shimochi has knocked in 6 of them. He's got a single and a double tonight. He's got a couple RBIs, and he's also grounded out to first. So they're going to have to talk about how they're going to handle the hot-hitting designated hitter for the Golden Eagles. Our friend Eric says Asian baseball numbers are generally pretty reliable. Long-term win percentage is good enough to justify the juice. Our friend Mick says about doing the Hanshin game. I did a Hanshin game earlier this year. They brought in the relievers, the back 3 relievers had to be some of the slowest stuff I've ever witnessed. It was the most painful game I had to do. I can't remember who it was. I'd have to go back and look at my score sheets. And I said, I vow I don't think I'm going to do another Tiger game the rest of the year. And so far, I've kept that streak alive. So 2 out, 2 on here as Shimochi steps up to the plate. He's waiting on the first offering here from Shino, who kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. As we said, Shimochi's got the single and the double tonight. He just missed the home run as that ball hit the top portion of the fence and then had made its way down to the padding, sort of stuck onto the warning track as the left fielder Yanagamachi had to go in after it and get it. So here he is. We got 1 ball and no strikes. Our friend AJ says, is it the top of the bottom of the 7th? It is the top of the 7th as the Eagles are batting. There's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-0 on Shimochi. So 2 balls and no strikes. Late arriving crowd in this one for everybody tonight. We do appreciate everybody for being here. As we said, if this game ends up wrapping up in the next 45 minutes, we'll add the Lions and the Marines to our schedule. So maybe if you guys are still around at 1 a.m. Pacific or 4 a.m. Eastern, we'll be back again, but that's pending on this one. There's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count now goes to 3-0 to Shimochi. I don't know if you might want to just hold the 4th finger up and put him on because of the way that he's been swinging the bat here, and take your chances with Okajima. So 3 balls and no strikes. A right-hander, Shino holds at the belt. He checks the runner as Asamura had advanced over to second base on that last one, and there's a fastball that misses outside. And that is going to be ball 4. So Asamura had actually gone over to second base on the 2-0 pitch. It was defensive indifference. I don't know if they're going to give him a stolen base on that one or not, but Shimochi has now walked. That is going to load the bases, and that's going to bring up the right fielder, Takeru Okajima. So for Okajima, he is 1 for 3 tonight. He's got a single and an RBI. He's flown to center, and he's grounded to short. So all the trouble here for Shino has come with 2 out. He retired Simitani and Nishikawa on groundouts. And then a single to Kobakata, a walk to Asamura, and another walk to Shimochi has loaded the bases. There are 2 gone here in the top of the 7th inning. And as our friend Joe says, 8 straight balls, absolutely. He's just fallen apart. And there's a fastball that misses outside and will make it 9 in a row. I haven't seen a meltdown like this since we did a preseason game between the Hanshin Tigers and the Oryx Buffaloes when the Hanshin pitcher threw 16 consecutive balls to walk off and lose the ball game to the Buffaloes in a preseason game this year. It was unbelievable. So 9 balls in a row from the right-hander Shino. And here comes the 1-0 pitch now to Okajima. And he delivers it as a Fastball swung on. This ball's belted to deep left field. Racing back is Yanagamachi. He can't make the catch. It's off the wall. 1 run is in. Kobakata scores. 2 runs are in. Asamura scores. Here's the throw to the plate. It is not in time. And sliding in is Shimouchi. That's going to clear the bases with a double, as Okajima has driven in 3 runs. And there you go, Joe. It is now going to be a 6-1 ball game for the Eagles over the Hawks here in the 7th inning, as this game has now been blown apart. So a bases loaded double for Okajima. The Hawks are now up 6-1. The Eagles are now up 6-1 over the Hawks. That's going to bring up the center fielder Ryosuke Tatsumi, and it looks like they're going to finally put a painful end to this one, as I would think they're going to be coming to get their pitcher here. No, but they're going to leave him in. Shino is going to be left out to hang here. So this is probably one of those situations that he's going to have to take a bullet. So here comes the first offering. It's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0 to Tatsumi. Tatsumi tonight is 1 for 3. He's singled, he's bounced into a fielder's choice, and he has struck out. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted down the left field line. And racing over is Yanagamachi, and he's going to reach into the seats, and he's going to make the grab. And that is going to do it here, as Tatsumi is gone for the 3rd out of the inning. But there's been damage done, and lots of it. The 2nd consecutive inning in a row that the Golden Eagles have put 3 on the board. They got 3 runs in the inning on 2 hits. There was no errors, and there were 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 6.5. It is the Golden Eagles 6, the Hawks 1. Stick around, everybody. We got more action when we return. We appreciate you guys here.
Hello, guys. Steve Rademacher coming at you. I'm having my 500 subscriber giveaway if we get there by the end of this year. That's my name and my channel, Steve Rademacher. All you have to do is be publicly subscribed, and then you can enter to win once we hit the magic number. Either an unopened, still sealed box of Star Trek official trading cards, Next Generation and Original Series. If that's not your cup of tea, we have Fleer Adrenaline with a Deerdick rookie card. I have pulled out an autograph from one of these, and there are relics. If that's not your thing, how about an unopened box of 1987 Donruss Baseball? Just come watch me, subscribe, and enjoy the show. Thank you.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and your support of our channel. And in turn, we support Steve Rademacher. We appreciate you guys for all listening in here tonight. Looks like we're going to see if they're going to bring back Chihao Sung to come in for the 7th inning. We're waiting on that announcement, or if the Eagles are going to the bullpen. It is the bottom of the 7th. It'll be the 9-1-2 hitters in the batting order coming up for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. That means it'll be Takuya Kai, then the top of the order, Yukiya Shudo and Kenta Imamiya. This game definitely went sideways in the 6th inning. It looked like the pitching for the Hawks was going to continue their role as they've had in the first 2 games of the series, as Tsuyoshi Wada had gone 5 innings where he was hardly touched at all, really not much trouble, and then he fell apart in the top of the 6th as he allowed the first 4 batters to reach before he was pulled, and then they brought the bullpen in that continued to move here. So it is going to be Alan Bozanic who's coming into the game. Haven't seen him pitch since earlier in the year. He's got a full beard going on now. So Bozanic is in, as he is going to be facing a pinch hitter for Takuya Kai, it looks like. The first pitch is a fastball swung on and fouled away, and it is going to be Nomura who is pinch hitting for Kai. So we'll get you the specs on both of these guys here in a moment. So Alan Bozanic is in. So 1 balls and 1 strike to Nomura. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that just misses down. The count is 1-1. That last pitch came in at 92 miles an hour on the gun. So here comes the 1-1 pitch, and he delivers a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is now 1-2 to Nomura. As I said, I haven't seen Pezenich pitch probably since somewhere in April. So I'm curious to see where his numbers are at. As there's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is driven down the right field line, but it's going to slice foul into the seats, and the count remains at 1-2. So Takuya Kai's day is done. So this is the 17th appearance for Pezenich on the year. He's worked 15 innings. He's allowed 10 hits. He's walked 3 and struck out 15. He's got an ERA of 2.40. He's got a win-loss record of 1-0. So I'll be interested to see what they're going to do for the 8th inning. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into shallow center field, and it's going to get down for a base hit. As it was on the fists, and Nomura is on with a leadoff single, and that's going to bring up the center fielder Yukio Shudo. So for Shudo, he's been on board twice tonight. He singled in the first and was picked off by the starter Fuji. He then walked and flew it to center field. So 1 for 2 officially on the night. And that is going to be it for Nomura. So Nomura is done, as we do have a pinch runner for him. The substitutions are coming fast and furious now. Haven't picked up the number yet on the runner. It is number 99, and it is the first pitch fastball swung on. It is hit the first. The play at first retires the runner, Shudo. Suzuki throws down to second to the shortstop covering, and it's going to be a 3-6 double play. Shudo hit the ball right to the bag. Suzuki fielded it, threw it down to second, and applying the tag was the shortstop Kobakata. And that is a double play that is going to go down as 6-3. And now, just like that, there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And that is going to bring up the shortstop Kenta Imamiya. So for Imamiya tonight, he is 0 for 3. He has grounded to third. He has flown to center and flown to right. He takes a first pitch fastball for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Imamiya's average has dropped to 289 on the campaign. So right-hander against the right-hander, and here's the pitch from Pezenich. It's a fastball that misses upstairs. That last pitch was at 95 miles an hour. It buzzed the light tower of Imamiya. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So here comes the offering from Pezenich. It's a fastball that misses up. They appeal down to the first base umpire, but they say that Imamiya didn't go. He did check his swing in time. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Fukuoka fans are a bit stunned as they've given up 3 in the 6th and the 7th, and there's a fastball swung on it, is lined right to the glove of the third baseman, Moji. So they hit the ball hard a couple of times in the inning here, do the Hawks, right defensively to the Eagles. And that is going to do it here for the 3rd out of the inning. So for Fukuoka in their half of the inning, there was no runs, a hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 7 complete. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks trailing the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 6-1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the top of the 8th inning after this. Appreciate you guys for being here. Welcome back, everybody. We're moving to the top of the 8th inning. It is going to be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters in the batting order coming up for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles, and they are going to be facing a right-hander who is coming on in relief. It is number 11. It is going to be Samori. The right-hander, this is Yuki Samori. We've seen him in the series. This is appearance number 37. He's got 4 wins and 5 losses on the year. He's worked 31 1/3 innings, allowing 25 hits. He's walked 19 and struck out 36. He's got an ERA of 3.16. The 3rd overall pick in the draft in 2019 out of Tohoku University of Social Welfare. That was where he graduated from. So here we go. We're going to face Daichi Suzuki, Igor Emoji, and Jinjiro Sumitani. And here's the first pitch. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is driven into right field. It's going to get down, and Yuki Yanagita cuts it off. It can't quite all the way in the corner. Here comes the throw into second, and it's not in time. It gets away from Imamiya. That is going to be a leadoff double here to start the 8th inning, as the bats have not cooled down yet for the Golden Eagles tonight. So a leadoff double here for Suzuki, and that's going to bring Igoro Emoji to the plate. As Yanagita, like he was moving a little gingerly after throwing that ball back in. He had to come to a stop on the warning track there. The warning track is not dirt, but for those of you who don't know, or maybe haven't played on turf surfaces, or don't understand, the warning track, obviously the color is different, which helps. But usually what they do on the turf surfaces is they put crushed rock on the warning track. And you can't usually pick that up. But what happens is when you're running, you start to feel it on your feet. And as you're getting the feel on your feet, that tells you that the offense is approaching. As the first pitch is swung on and fouled away to Moji, and the count is 0-1. So when the outfielder is racing back and he's running on the turf, all of a sudden he gets to the point where he gets to the crushed rock and he's feeling it under his feet. He knows that the fence is coming, and that's where he can brace himself for impact or to break it down before he gets there. But sometimes the fielders, they might roll themselves a little bit as they maybe roll their ankle a bit. There's a changeup that misses down, and the count is now 1-1 to Moji. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Our friend Breathe Deep says he needs a couple of runs to cover his bad advice bet. So that is 1 ball and 1 strike to Moji. I would not have thought that this would be a 6-1 ball game at this point. And there is a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Moji. I definitely not would have had that in this one for sure. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. The right-hander leans in. He gets the sign from his catcher, and he comes set. We didn't get the substitute on the catcher in this one here, but we will update that in a minute. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As Takuya Kai, his night is finished. As it is Isama Nomura who's in, but I don't know if it's still Nomura because I thought they pinch ran for him over at first base. That's who they have listed currently as the catcher. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and missed. And Moji is down on strikes for the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the catcher, Jinjiro Sumitani. For Sumitani tonight, he is 1 for 3. He has singled and grounded to short twice. So he steps in ready to face the right-hander Samori. As we take a quick glance at that out-of-town scoreboard, the bottom of the 8th inning, the Fighters are beating the Buffaloes 5-1. Oryx picked up a run in the bottom of the 7th inning. And here comes the offering here from Samori as he kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball that misses outside. He appealed down to the first base umpire, but they say Sumitani didn't go. The Dragons scored that run in the bottom of the 4th, and it is still 1-0 Chinichi. That's in the bottom of the 6th inning. And of course, this game here is 6-1. All the other games are later starts. Our friend Mick was wanting us to do the Tigers and Carp game, but I just can't see myself staying up till 5 or 6 a.m. to be able to get that one done. There's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-0 to Simitani. Maybe in my younger years, possibly. There's Alexander Leggett, who makes the check-in here. We're glad you're in here tonight with us, Alex. We did attendance earlier, and Mick was a late arrival, and Alex is a later arrival. Thank you for popping in. So here comes the 2-0 pitch. As the right-hander Samori delivers, it is a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into left field, but it's right to the left fielder, Yanagamachi, who makes the catch. Simitani hit that ball right on the screws, but right to the glove of the left fielder, Yanagamachi, and he's gone for out number 2, and that's going to bring up the left fielder, Haruki Nishikawa. So for Nishikawa, he is 1 for 4. Alexander says, late as can be. Work had him working really late tonight. Well, we said before, if this game can wrap up in the next 25 minutes, then we'll add the Chiba and the Cebu game. It goes off at 1 o'clock Pacific or 4 a.m. Eastern to our slate, but that's pending upon how fast this game will finish off. So here comes the first pitch. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is quickly 0-1 strike to Nishikawa. Nishikawa is 1 for 4 tonight. He doubled and scored a run back in the 6th. He's also grounded out twice and struck out. So the Golden Eagles are like piranhas right now. They're wanting to be able to smell the blood here of the Hawks and maybe be able to get themselves another run. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. That's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 1-1. Alexander says just not able to watch as much NPB as he used to. Are going to be doing the game on Wednesday, North American time. The Thursday game is going to be the Mountain holiday in Japan. That means Wednesday North American time, it'll be a 10 p.m. first pitch as a fastball misses outside. The count is 2-1. Alexander says, like to have a beer with you and pick brain for cool baseball stories. Well, fortunately, I'm not going to get as far back east as you are. I think, if I'm not mistaken, you're in that Washington area. I don't know if he's in Maryland or Virginia. I'll be in that Metro Detroit area for about 10, 11 days at the end of the month. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 2-2. The only thing is that we are going to have stuff going off on the channel. I've done a lot of pre-programming. I'm not going to call any games in that window. I'm going to take a 10-day hiatus of calling games. Not that I don't want to call the games, but I just need to have a break and need to be able to see some folks and relatives that we haven't seen in quite some time. And that is going to be a lot of fun. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. As the right-hander Samori delivers, it's a fastball swung on and missed. And Nishikawa goes down and strikes for the 3rd out of the inning. And that is going to do it here for the Golden Eagles in their half of the 8th. There was no runs. There was 1 hit. They strand the leadoff double by Suzuki. There were no errors and 1 runner left aboard. We are now moving to the bottom of the 8th. It is a 6-1 game for the Golden Eagles. They are going to be going to the bullpens. Our friend Vivid Life is in the house, so now everybody is checked in. We appreciate you for being here. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back after this. We're glad you're with us. Welcome back, everybody. The Golden Eagles are going to their bullpen again, and it is going to be another pitching change. We'll get you that in just a moment here. As we do look at that scoreboard, it's 5-2 for the Fighters over the Buffaloes now, as that game is in the 8th inning. In the bottom of the 8th inning, as the Buffaloes have scored, the Buffaloes actually have runners on the corners with 2 gone. It is the shortstop Kirby who is hitting. In the bottom part of the order, they're looking to trying to scratch another run across against the cutout upon Ham Fighters. The Fighters have played much better recently. They really did some damage and beat up on the Hawks in the first series of the week. They've been playing good baseball against Oryx as well. That is kind of where they stand. The standings in the NPB, as we look, it is right now in the Pacific League, the Saitama Cebu Lions have a 2-game lead over the Hawks. The Buffaloes are 3 games back. The Eagles are 3.5, and the Marines are starting to drift a bit at 5.5. The Fighters are 14 back. They've played the 3rd most amount of games in the Pacific League. So we do have a pitching change, and there is a substitution in left field, as the Golden Eagles have a new left fielder. So here comes the first pitch of the inning. It is a fastball swung on, and this is lifted down the left field line. And of course, it would be to the substitute who makes the catch in left field, and that is going to retire Taisi Makihara for the first out of the inning. So 1 pitch and 1 away. And that is going to put us behind. It's going to bring Yuki Yanagita to the plate. Of course, the time that you can't get all the numbers up, you can't get to see who's who. It's, of course, where the first 2 guys are making the play. So that brings Yuki Yanagita to the plate. For Yanagita, he is 0 for 3 tonight. He reached on an error his second time up, and there's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into right field, and that's going to get down for a base hit in front of Okajima, and he's got himself a single here with 1 away. So he is the runner at first, and that is going to bring up the DH Alfredo Despania. So as we quickly get some of the other stuff, and that's going to take Yanagita out of the ball game as his day is done. We'll have a pinch runner for him. It is Naoto Nishiguchi who is in relief. Surprised to see Nishiguchi here in this situation, but maybe not with a 5-run lead. I wouldn't see him as the 8th inning kind of guy, but now with the spread of runs. So Nishiguchi in here in relief. And the first pitch is a fastball swung on, and this is lined into center field for a base hit. And Despania is aboard as they play station-to-station baseball. That is going to put the runners at first and second, and that's going to bring up Akira Nakamura. So the Hawks are not dead yet. That gives them now 7 hits on the ball game. They just need to string a few more together here. So Nakamura strides to the plate. He's 0 for 2 tonight. He walked in, brought in the only run of the game on the bases loaded walk back in the 4th inning. He's flown to left and has flown to right. Our friend Vivid Life says yesterday was an interesting day of work for him. We know him as he works in the hotel industry, and he always likes to come in and tell us his wild and crazy stories. The weekend is always the crazy end of stuff usually in that type of field, and there's a breaking ball that misses down and in. The count is 1-0 to Akira Nakamura. So Nishiguchi, the 4th pitcher used by the Eagles tonight. As we said, the Hawks are not dead yet, as the Thunder sticks are out and they're making their noise. So here comes the 1-0 offering as the right-hander delivers. It's a fastball taken for a call and strike. And the count is now 1-1. As I watch the Japanese fans cheering, and having had an opportunity to been to Europe for England and other countries to see soccer and how the crowd gets into the matches. There's the breaking ball that misses down. It squirts away from Simatani, but the runners are going to hold their positions. It's going to be 2 balls and 1 strike. It's rather refreshing, at least in my mind, when I see the engagement of the fans that are there to watch the ball game. In North America, the exploding scoreboards, the fireworks, the music that goes on in the background, it really drowns out the fans. And I don't know if you get the fan experience. I remember as a kid going to Detroit Tiger games, and then the crowd would be cheering and chanting and clapping as a fastball misses outside and the count goes to 3-1. There used to be an old timer. They nicknamed him the Brow. And the Brow because his eyebrow was like the unibrow. It was one right across from one eyeball to the other. And he would walk around the stands and he would try to get the fans going. And he usually did. Or they would start cheering and they would start doing stuff. And it's almost like a cheerleader. There's a fastball that misses outside. And that's going to load the bases. As we've got the bases loaded here now with 1 out in the 8th inning, it's going to bring the pitching coach out of the Tohoku dugout. So that means Nakamura is at first, Despania is at second, and the pinch runner for Yanagita has gone over to third. So this game isn't quite going as designed for the Golden Eagles. The runner, by the way, for Yanagita is Tanagawara. He had come into last night's game. Kenta Tanagawara, who is the pinch runner, who is at third. You would anticipate that he probably will stay in the game defensively as well. Our friend Vivid Life said somebody asked for a refund because they fell asleep at the in the parking lot and didn't even use the room anyways. That's not your fault. Can't give them the valet to his room. So Yanagamachi steps up to the plate. He's 1 for 3 tonight. He's got a single and 3 trips. And here comes the first offering from the right-hander Nishigauchi, and it's going to miss outside for ball 1. And the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. As we said, we do appreciate everybody who has checked into the ball game here tonight. Hopefully you guys can join us again on Thursday, as we'll do that game late night, and we're going to try to see if we can squeeze another one in here tonight. There's a fastball that misses outside. And the count is now 2-0 to Yanagamachi. So I don't know if our friend Joe is still around. I know Eric Cheng was in here, and this game has got the over, and it looks like it's even going to go more. Our friend who was in here earlier breathed deep. He was hoping for a couple more runs. Well, you might get it here. Here comes the 2-0 offering. It's a fastball swung on it. It is lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats. The count is now 2-1 on Yanagamachi. Alexander Leggett says, what are your thoughts on Yanagamachi? Well, I think that he's really taken an opportunity here to be able to get some playing time. I think the left fielder that the Hawks had early in the year, there's the fella blew up his knee. I want to say it was Sato, was the outfielder, who was kind of getting more of the playing time and ended up hurting his knees, gone for the year. And then Ubiyashi, the center fielder, I believe tore his ACL. As a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is now 2-2. So Yanagamachi has been getting there at bats, and he's been pretty impressive. I would say defensively, he still has some work to do. He's judging balls in the outfield. We watched him play a couple of balls. Even that bases clearing double, I thought he might have made a better route to the ball. But for the most part, he's been very productive in the playing time he's received. There's a fastball that misses in. That last pitch was at 96 miles an hour, and that's going to run the count to 3-2. So I don't know what his arm is like. I haven't seen him make enough throws. By the fact that they've got him in left field is probably a telltale sign, is that not good enough to knock out Yanagita in right, and probably doesn't run well enough to take the time away from Shuto or others in center. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on, and it is lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats behind the third base side of home plate. The count remains at 3-2. So as far as swinging the bat is concerned, I do like his approach. And so that is a boon for the Hawks to have another young player pushing for playing time. So here comes the 3-2 pitch. As he kicks and delivers, it is a fastball, waved at and missed. That is going to retire Yannick Amachi. It looked like he swung at ball 4, and he is retired for the second out. So all the good things I was saying about him there, he got caught fishing on that pitch there. That is going to retire him for out number 2. That is going to bring up the third baseman, Hikaru Kawase. So the bases are still full of Hawks. There's 2 gone now. They need themselves a clutch hit here to tighten the noose a little bit around the Eagles' necks. Make them feel a little bit more uncomfortable. So Kawase's hitting .283 on the year. He's got no homers and 8 RBIs. And the first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1. He's made some plays at third base tonight, and some of the plays he's not made them look easy. He's 0 for 2, and he's also got a walk. So he comes set at the belt, and then he raises it up to his chest. And he kicks, and he fires. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And now the count quickly goes to 0-2 on Kawase. I don't know if I'm always saying this fella's last name right. Kawase, in German, it would be Kavasi because they would say the W a little bit different. And there were a couple of players that were over in German. They would enunciate that way. But I think it's Kawase more in the Japanese sense. There's a fastball that is waved at and missed. And he is down on strikes for the third out of the inning. So after loading the bases with 1 out, the Nishiguchi is able to get out of the inning. There was no runs. There were 2 hits. There were no errors. And there was 3 Hawks left the board. We're now through 8. The score is 6-1 for the Golden Eagles. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call at the top of the 9th inning. We're glad you guys are with us. Welcome back, everybody. There is going to be a pitching change, yet another one here for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks as they've gone to the bullpen again. They're bringing in a right-hander. And the right-hander is more of a sidewinder. It's going to be Ryo Akiyoshi. He is going to be taking over here. He has going to appear in his second ball game of the year. He is with his third team in the NPB. He has pitched the last 3 years with the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. Before that, he had spent 5 seasons with the Tokyo Yakult Swallows. But this is his second ball game with the Hawks. He has pitched in 1 inning. He's allowed a couple of hits. He has walked none. He has struck out 1, and he's allowed 2 earned runs to an ERA of 18 the year. So he is on in relief. This is our first view of Ryo Akiyoshi, and he's going to be facing the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the batting order. And so here comes the first offering to Hiroto Kobakata, and it's a fastball that misses for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Kobakata, Asamura, and Shimouchi here to face Akiyoshi. as he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 2-0. And so now you can see why he has been with 3 different ball clubs on the first 2 pitches. Either one of those pitches were close to being strikes. So here comes the 1-1 offering. And it is a fastball that misses inside, and the count is now 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. Asamura and Shimochi, as we said, here to follow. It's not the start you want to this half inning. And here comes the offering. It is a fastball that is check swing, and it is actually somewhere along the line. I think they might have called that one before a check swing on Kobakata, so it's now 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Certainly didn't think it was a strike, and I certainly didn't think that he went. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is here. So here comes the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is popped up into shallow left field. Coming in on it is Yanagamachi, and he's going to make the catch. That's going to retire Kobakata for the first out of the inning. 1 up and 1 away. It'll bring up Hideto Asamura. Asamura tonight, he's 1 for 2. He singled in the first inning. He grounded out. He's walked a couple of times. He scored a couple of runs. So he steps up to the plate here. To face the right-hander who delivers a breaking ball for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So Akiyoshi settling down a little bit. Now starting to throw some strikes. And here comes the 0-1 offering to Asamura. He delivers it as a breaking ball swung on, grounded to short. Fielded by the shortstop Imamiya, who throws to first. It's a ground out 6-3, so 2 up and 2 quickly away, and that's going to leave it all up to Hiroki Shimochi. So for Shimochi tonight, he is 2 for 3. He's got a single, a double. He's walked, scored a run. He's driven in a pair. So he has been all over the score sheet yet again tonight. That is the way it has worked for him in this series. As we mentioned, normally we do a full roundup after this game here, but this game wraps up quickly here, and as it may, we're going to be bouncing in and doing the Chiba Saitama Cebu Lion game in less than an hour. We'll have to do some work to get it up onto the stream, and there's a ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0 to Shimochi. So 1 ball and no strikes. So hopefully you guys can stick around and join us for another, as we'd love to have you. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Right-hander leans in. He gets his sign from the catcher. And now he comes set as Shimochi waits on the 1-1 offering. And that is a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1. So Akiyoshi here looking to retire the side 1-2-3 as he gets the sign from his catcher Nomura, and he works set. And now he kicks, and he delivers. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is lined down the left field line. It's going to stay fair. It's going to get into the corner. It's going to be extra bases for Shimochi. He's digging for 2. Here comes the throw. It's not in time as he goes into second standing up, as he's got himself a 2-out double. So for Shimochi, the hot hitting continues, as that's his 3rd hit of the ball game. And that is going to bring up the right fielder Takeru Okajima. Well, for Okajima tonight, he has been the hitting star tonight for the Golden Eagles. He is 2 for 4. He's got a single, a double. He's driven in 4 runs. So 2 hits in 4 trips to the plate. And he's got a chance to drive another one in here, as there is 2 gone with the runner on second base. So Shimochi establishes his lead. Our friend Quaff says he's going to head to bed. Well, we appreciate you, Quaffs, for being here again tonight and your support. As we said before to everybody else that's here, don't forget to bookmark the channel so that when we come back, you guys can be here with us, as there's a first pitch fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. We'll be putting the rest of our weekly schedule up tomorrow in the morning. We'll be doing the Sunday night affair between the Padres and the Dodgers. So if you want to come and join us for a little bit of Major League action, we'll be watching the Sunday night game. So here comes the 0-1 pitch. As the right-hander delivers, it's a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and the count now is 1-1 to Okajima. After we do the Major League game, we'll probably, as we said, we're going to do a midweek game, and then we haven't yet landed when our thoughts were going to be for next weekend in the NPB. There's a couple of games that we're looking to add to the schedule. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. As the right-hander holds set. Now he kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded foul over on the first base side. The count is now 1-2 to Okajima. So 1-2. Ryosuke Tatsumi waits on deck should he get an opportunity to come to bat here, as the right-hander Akiyoshi is ready to deliver the 1-2 offering here to Okajima. As the right-hander leans in and he gets the sign from his catcher, Namuri, who holds set. Now he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on. It is lined into right center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. And rounding third and heading home is Shimauchi, and that is going to be a single for Okajima. That's going to be the 7th run of the ball game, the 5th RBI of the night for Okajima. Have yourself a ball game there, young player, and that is going to increase the scoreline to 7-1. And that is going to bring up the center fielder, Ryosuke Tatsumi. So that'll help Okajima's batting average on the season. He entered the game hitting .247 while going 3 for 5 tonight. He'll jump over that .250 mark for sure. So Tatsumi steps to the plate. He's 1 for 4 tonight. He singled. He's bounced into a fielder's choice. He's struck out and flown out to left. And on the first pitch he swings at, he grounds it right back to the pitcher. And it is fielded by the pitcher, Akiyoshi. He flips it to first, and that is going to do it here on a ground out to 3 for out number 3. So for the Golden Eagles in their half of the inning, there was a run on 2 hits. There was no errors and 1 runner left aboard. We're now moving to the bottom of the 9th inning. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks trailing the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 7-1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few after this from our friend Steve Rademacher.
Hello, guys. Steve Rademacher coming at you. I'm having my 500 subscriber giveaway if we get there by the end of this year. That's my name and my channel, Steve Rademacher. All you have to do is be publicly subscribed, and then you can enter to win once we hit the magic number, either an unopened, still sealed box of Star Trek official trading cards, Next Generation and Original Series. If that's not your cup of tea, we have Fleer Adrenaline with a Deerdick rookie card. I have pulled out an autograph from one of these, and there are relics. If that's not your thing, how about an unopened box of 1987 Donruss Baseball? Just come watch me, subscribe, and enjoy the show. Thank you.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and your support of the channel. And in turn, we support Steve Rademacher. Be sure to check him out after the game. There is a pitching change for Tohoku. It's going to be Satoshi Sakai coming in. Sakai is going to be working his 17th game of the year. He's 1-1 on the season, 14 1/3 innings. He's allowed 12 hits, 4 walks. He has struck out 10, and he's pitched to an ERA of 3.14. So Satoshi Sakai on in relief. So that is where we stand here As coming up for the Hawks, it's going to be the 9-1-2 hitters in the batter order slated to come to hit. It's supposed to be Nomura, Shudo, and Imamiya. But we'll have to see what we have here. There are some wholesale changes around defensively for the Golden Eagles. But unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get those ones to you as they're just too many and too quick to be able to do. So we are going to be keeping our eye on our game that we said that we may be adding to our schedule, and that is Chiba and the Saitama Cebu Lions. The lineups are not in for that one yet. We've been keeping our eyes peeled for that there. So once this one is done, we're not going to do our normal wrap-up. We're just going to go straight to the showers and be able to get ready for that second end of our doubleheader. And so here we go as the first pitch is delivered. It is a breaking ball that misses upstairs for ball one, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Nomura. And Sakai ready to deliver again, and he delivers a breaking ball that catches the outside corner. And the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So the right-handed hitter waggles the bat. He's waiting on the offering here from Sakai, and there's a breaking ball swung on it. It's grounded over to third. Moji fields it across the diamond. That is going to be a ground out 5-3 for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the top of the order in Yukio Shudo. Eric Cheng says he took a nap and came back to ask if you're doing another game. We are going to have to hustle here. Once this one is complete, they still haven't posted the lineups yet for that second game. But it is in a dome. Oh, it looks like the lineups are up now. So, yeah, we got a little work to do on the in-between, but we are going to stick around and give you another one. So here's the first pitch. It is a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0 to Shudo. So we'll end this stream, and then we'll get another one set up, and hopefully you can be back and join us at the top of the hour, 40 minutes away. So here comes the 1-0 pitch, and there's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. So it looks like it's Dietrich Enns on the hill for the Lions tonight. Didn't get the starter for the Marines. So here comes the 2-0 offering. As the right-hander Sakai delivers, it's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count is now 3-0 to Shudo. You just got to throw strikes. Let them put the ball in play. The defense go to work. They got a 6-run lead here. 7-13-1 for the Eagles. 1-7-0 for the Hawks. And here comes the 3-0 pitch from Sakai, who kicks and delivers. It is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is now 3-1. Shudo is 1 for 3, as we say tonight. He's walked, but he was picked off in the first inning by the lefty Fuji. They had him confused over there, going the wrong way at first. Here's the 3-1, and there's a fastball that misses up. It's going to be the second time today that Shudo has drawn himself a walk. He's got a 1-out walk here, and that's going to bring up the shortstop, Kenta Imamiya. So for Imamiya tonight, he is 0 for 4. He has grounded to third. He has flown to center. He's flown to right, and he has lined out to third. We're pretty sure that they're going to bring Imamiya up, one would think. Usually the team that's down doesn't always up to their benches, but no, they are going to bring him out. And it is going to be number 12. It is going to be the fella that we were chuckling about last week, who was wearing the jersey number 126. This is Kurose. And he is coming in the bat here. And the first pitch to him is a fastball that is taken for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. He's 1 for 5 on the season, is Kenta Kurose. As we said last week, he was wearing number 126. Not sure what the reason for that was. Those are usually reserved for the training team players. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. I don't know when the last time somebody's worn a triple-digit number in a regular season NPB game. He has 8 trips to the plate. He's 1 for 5. He's got an RBI. He's also had a sac fly and a couple of walks. Here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 1-2. He stiffened up there. He didn't like the call from the home plate umpire. Thought that might have been a little outside, but upon review of the replay, I thought that pitch looked pretty good. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Eric says it looks like the Marines pitcher is a rookie with 1 appearance. I haven't seen him. And 007 would be an interesting number. There's a fastball swung on it. It is grounded through the 4-hole into right field. And that is going to stop Shuto all the way over to third. And it is going to be a base hit single for Kurosi. So this game is still not over yet, as the Hawks have runners on the corners with 1 out. And that's going to bring up Taisi Makihara to the plate, who's 2 for 4 today. So the Hawks just continue to pound away at the pitching of the Golden Eagles. Golden Eagles just can't seem to make this easy. Just got to be able to throw strikes and trade the runs for the outs, as the sand in the hourglass is starting to run a little bit low here for the Hawks. So Makihara 2 for 4. He's got a couple of singles, a ground out, and he's flown to left. As the catcher Simatani jumps out in front of the plate, and he gives the first and third signals. Eric Cheng is throwing the gauntlet out. He says he'll quit drinking if the SoftBank Hawks win. While they're down by 6, this could be, can you imagine this is one of the greatest comebacks in history? There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. It reminds me, years ago, I was sitting in a game between the, ironically, your New York Jets and the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field. And the Bears were getting pummeled. This would have been about 1997, 1998. The Jets were laying it to them. And I remember the Jets fans teasing the Bear fans as they were leaving the field with about 15 minutes to play in the game, as there's a ground ball hit over to second. They flip it to the shortstop, covering at second base for 1. That's going to erase Kurose on a fielder's choice, 4-6. It's going to score Shuto from third, and safely reaching first is Makihara on the fielder's choice. And that is going to bring up I believe it's going to bring up Tanagawara, because he had come in for the right fielder Yuki Yanagita. We're just going to confirm that for you here, as that will be his first at bat, should he be coming in here to hit. And that is exactly who it is. It is going to be Tanagawara coming up to the plate. It's going to be his first at bat tonight. He came on to run for Yanagita. So Kenta Tanagawara, 235. He's 4 for 17. This pitch is a fastball swung on, missed. The count is 0-1. So Kenta Tanagawara in, and Yuki Yanagita out. So here comes the 0-1 offering. As the right-hander delivers, it's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And now the count goes to 0-2. So the Bears fans kept teasing him and saying, hey, or the Jets fan kept teasing the Bears fans saying, hey, where are you guys going? Don't you know the Bears are coming back? And, of course, the Bear fans were pretty ticked. Our friend Breathe Deep is back in here, and he says he's won the over. Yes, you did. So here comes the 2-strike pitch, and it's a fastball that misses down. I remember you announced a few innings back that you thought you made a bad beat. But apparently you come out smelling like a rose sometimes, as that fastball misses down. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tanagawara. And here comes the offering. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded fair. It is picked up by the catcher. He throws to first, and that is going to do it. It's going to go down as a ground out, 2-3 for the third out of the inning, and that is going to do it here for the Hawks in their half of the inning. Well, they got a run on 1 hit. There was no errors and 1 runner left aboard. Your final score, the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 7, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 2. Well, listen, everybody, we appreciate you guys for being in here. Normally, we wrap it up and we'll give you the out-of-town scoreboard. But tonight, we're going to come on back in another half an hour or so. We're going to call the game at the top of the hour. I got to go get the stream set up, and that'll be able to get us, hopefully, all prepared for you guys in just a little bit. So once again, your final score is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 7, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 2. Once again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, we'd love to have you here. Hit the notification bar because that'll tell you when the games are going to be coming up. But more importantly, come back and check the channel, and you'll see when we are going to be doing stuff. All right, everybody, we'll be back again in 30 minutes. We'll set up the stream, and we'll come on back for the Lions and the Marines. Have a great night, everybody.